Hi, every FNF podcast. Sorry for the audio quality. I'm about to drive into the Holland Tunnel. This is Dave, previous forgettable guest from Calling All Creeps podcast. I've been binging down on Final Fantasy X, and it's bringing up a whole lot from the only game I could afford when I got my PS2, one of those PS classics, and just bringing back a lot of memories of the rocket power, Cheeto energy that Waka gives off, and excited to see if you can finally figure out where Seymour's skin meets his shirt, because it seems to be all the same. Also, why did they get guns in the second one? Guns. The ultimate materia. But I hope you guys finally reach that Final Fantasy and speedrun all of these very good JRPGs. I love you, boys. I'm going to lose service soon. Hope the cops don't stop me. ACAB, bye.
You know what it's also time for?
What's that?
The Every FNFF podcast, baby.
Oh, shoot.
Same time every week.
The Moonflow.
Oh, we are. We're in the Moonflow.
Here we come.
The moon must flow.
The moon must flow.
Guest announcement. Well, I guess, hold on. Wait, I'm Curtis.
I'm Carl.
I'm Alex.
Okay, guest announcement. We have a guest again. And again, as a matter of fact. Because it's Corey. Hi, Corey.
Yo, what up?
Yeah, what up?
Enemy of the show.
He's a high scoresman at this point.
Old time, new time, same time, all time, baby. Let's go.
I should have looked up what like the third or fourth rank of the Albed primer is, so that we could call Corey that. So I'm just gonna say you are the Albed Muad'Dib of the podcast.
Hell
I think Corey's now like an official part of the podcast because we have sent him equipment to record on.
No, I'm now a podcast guardian.
Yeah, that's right. He's joined our merry band of summoners and guardians. Who's the summoner among us?
Probably Alex.
Yeah, probably Alex.
Alex is easily the most important one.
The final podcast. I've been preparing.
We're going on a trip to have every guest on so that we can prepare the final guest for the last episode.
Here's the statue of Ali that we pray at.
What if you guys are just Alex's summons? And he's just like lonely, so he summons his friends to record a podcast.
But yeah.
You said it, Valfor.
We're going to walk from Jose Temple to the Moonflow now. And this area is real gray, which I like about it. Like, Final Fantasy is full of like wondrous vistas and like magical fucking areas. And this place is very, again, moist, I feel like. Like the last one was moist. But this one is like walking in the morning dew.
I was gonna say, yeah, it seems like you'd like walk through like the grass in the morning and like not think of anything, and then you look and like the cuffs of your pants are just soaked. And you're like, shit.
Yeah. It's very like, it's incredibly overcast, like getting ready to thunder.
Oh, it's like the Mihen Low Road, if anything.
The Mihen Low Road.
I mean, it looks like Mihen High Road, just with the cliffs.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah,
a little more green on it as well.
Yeah, and we're like walking through like a little not a canyon. What's a canyon that only goes like 8 feet high?
Corey, you're the expert.
A valley?
Maybe a valley. I think a road is cut through like a mountainside.
We're in the Mihen Trench.
There we go. That's
there we
one.
go.
We're gonna get real trench foot from this.
It's kind of unassuming. Like when we were like getting ready to break for last week's episode, and it was like, okay, we're gonna go through and talk about the Moonflow. I was like, yo, the Moonflow? That name is evocative as shit.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I can't fucking wait for this cool ass place. Like I'm expecting like everything to be like black and there's just like moonlight and stuff. And then I get here and I like went all the way to the end of this and I was like, wait, what the fuck? And then I realized that we were on the Moonflow the whole time. I was like, oh shit, I went
like,
too far.
Can't wait for 4 dudes to talk about the Moonflow.
Yeah.
Is the Moonflow the actual river itself that this is part of?
Yeah, I think
so,
it's,
right?
Yeah, at least that's the sense that I got.
I think that makes sense, yeah, because
Yeah.
we get to a point in a couple of screens where we see something where they start discussing the Moonflow.
Yeah, I
So
think this is just
that's
like
this is like the Moonflow Road or
It's like
something.
when
Yeah.
I'm driving north, like we have to go to the Skook Flow.
Skook flow. That's a Pennsylvania joke for everybody listening to our podcast.
Shout outs to the Schuylkill
First
River.
one of the pod.
There's a couple more remnants of like Crusaders who are all beaten up. I feel like this is the last we kind of see them, because they're all like at Jose or have gone home, and then there's like one or two. just
They're
hanging
like
out here.
their organization was just completely decimated, and like.
Yeah.
And they're also being shamed that it was their fault because of their like beliefs or whatever. So I don't think too many people are like, "Nah, we're gonna keep this going."
Yeah, right. But yeah, this first area I feel like doesn't have like a lot to talk about. There's a treasure chest with 3 level 1 key spheres.
Yeah, which are pretty handy.
Yeah, you know.
I've been like saving mine up, but I also did a little bit of sphere grid grinding this time around where like I noticed that a lot of level 1 things aren't just blocking off like other sphere grids. It's blocking off like little sections of a sphere grid. Sometimes you can like double around them and just get to these ones faster, but it usually involves backtracking.
Right. Yeah, you'll go back a little bit on your sphere grid and like open up a section that might have like a strength and a magic.
Well,
And that-
it'll give you like an extra 200 HP, which is like probably worth it if you're walking past it and you have the lock for it. But
yeah.
you know,
Which I will say, I walked all the way up this trail and then all the way back and then all the way up it again, like several times, because like every time I saw something was on the way, I was like, better go back and heal up and then not take any battles on the way back next time. I don't want to have all this like.
I did the exact same thing, and I'm excited to talk about it when we get a couple more screens down. Because I think I said this last week as well, where when you get all the way to the end of it, like you kind of like get into a cutscene. And like, there's no save point along the way. And like, up until this point, like, I feel like the save spheres have been pretty generous. So like, I ended up getting to that part and being like, oh shit, I went too far, and having to walk all the way back before getting like back to the Jose temple.
Right.
So there was a lot of that this time around as well for me.
You know, one thing that's interesting is the actual name for this trail or this section of the game in the Japanese version is Genkoga, which is like not actually a Japanese word, but it roughly translates to like Phantom Light River. So it's interesting that they localized it to Moonflow in English, because none of that shit's in the Japanese.
I feel
That's
like
actually
it does
a better name too.
Yeah, I feel like it works in the sense of how most Japanese translations work. When you like look into it and you're like, oh, there's no direct word for this.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, like the Phantom like river or what, like,
Well,
like, and then you're like, okay, Moonflow, I can kind of see where the translator was coming from.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
like
it's also not a word in Japanese either. Like they made it up for the game.
Yeah, that's true.
so Shalinda's also on this road.
Mm-hmm.
Good old trusty Shalinda.
I was like, sweet, we can get some heals from her.
Yeah.
Nope.
And she just simps for religion again.
Yeah, she just talks about how much she loves religion and Yevon and shit.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Doesn't heal us. Notably, doesn't heal
does
us.
not heal us. Yeah. And she says she's going to go to Guadasalam as well.
Yeah.
Look, you know what they say, all right? Shalinda giveth, Shalinda taketh.
I do like that she says she's not spoken with the Guado for some time.
Yeah.
Which kind of like, I'm like, oh, okay, she has a little bit of like a, what's the word?
Mystery.
Ambassador.
Oh,
I was going to
okay.
say an ambassador role maybe between the church
Yeah.
and like different organizations and stuff.
Sure.
Because like she's somebody who goes to the Guado sometimes and talks to them.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, maybe she is like for as simp for religion as she is, like maybe she is like has like a little bit of worldliness.
Yeah.
At the same time. So
Sure.
whatever.
She certainly gets around. I mean, you guys keep running into her on the road.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone, I think even we'll bump into Machen again.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of bumping into people on this fucking road, Kamari's best friends, we bump into them as well.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Biran and Yankee.
Yankee.
Yeah, and they're like bullying some dude or whatever. Which by
It's good
the
to know
way-
that they're equal opportunity bullies, though.
Yeah, I know. Which, hey guys, remember when I said keep an eye out for this guy on the boat who's running around, and let's see if we see him.
Yeah.
That's
Same
that guy.
Not the other
Holy
binocular
shit.
fella?
Yeah, so remember when I was like, that's not the goggles or the binoculars guy. That's some other guy. That's a different person. And I said, oh, I know who that is because he's important later or whatever. It's that guy. It's the same guy who was on the boat.
I think he's credited actually as that guy. I don't. Is that the same in the Japanese version, Corey, or is it different?
Glasses, man.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, there may be, I remember being like, or we were talking about it, like maybe this is just a character model that's used multiple times or something like that. And it still could be, but there is a named character later in the game that has that character model, and we saw that one on the boat only and only here. It's the only time we've seen him. So I think it's probably that person. I think that's a one-off person.
I think we can say with 100% certainty that you are absolutely right.
Maybe. We'll see.
Even though I haven't gotten there yet, like, yes, that is now, we are canonizing it. This is a big season about religion. We are canonizing
Well,
this
it would make
right
sense
now.
to me with, like, when we get to that way later, like, we can look back on it and be like, no, yeah, it would make sense that he's in all these areas, that we saw him on the boat first, and then he was on the Moonflow Road and everything. Like, this makes sense. So, yeah, to me, that's this person, but I'm not going to say who they are. But
Sure.
in my head canon, and I think probably game canon as well, this is the same person running around the stairs on the SS
Leaky.
Winnow.
Yes. Winnow.
The second one, right?
Yeah.
This is Yevon.
So,
This is him. This is Yevon. Yeah.
We found him.
I didn't recognize the name Yankee, and I checked, and in Japanese his name is Enke. So it's like Biran and Enke. And I looked it up, and like Enke, I guess, is like the name of
A cat?
no, it's like a moon of Saturn or something. It's like a mythological giant.
Oh,
And also
interesting.
a comet, the comet Enke. Biran means blister. So I don't know if that was the intention.
Rude.
It turns out that they're Japanese for bebop and rocksteady.
Yo, hell yeah.
No Doubt songs?
Yeah, right. But they're like bullying this little dude, and he like runs away. And Biran says, "Look, one of Kamari's friends looks just like him." And like Titus walks up behind them and is like, "What?" Because I was also thinking, "What?" First of all, I don't know that man.
Yeah.
like that is not one of Kamari's friends.
I thought they were talking about Kamari himself.
Yeah.
It's like, looks just like him. Like, it is Kamari.
that is Kamari.
I figured
They just roll
like,
with it.
I,
We were talking about that guy.
I thought they were just like, hey, he's a human. Kamari fucking hangs out with those guys. Like,
Yeah. Literally every human.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, Kamari.
No, but that's
knows
the joke,
every
right?
human.
Because they go on to be like, yeah, he looks just like Kimari. He's got no horn and he runs around with a bunch of summoners.
Well, I was thinking that like maybe what they were saying is that he's small, because like Kimari, like for being huge to us, is small to them.
Yeah.
A little tiny baby
Well, yeah,
on, so
because they keep calling him small all the time.
I'm looking at the script. I thought it was a horniness, not hornless.
Horniness.
yeah, and he
Horny
does say,
Kimari.
They're the horny police.
they do say,
Both follow summoners on all fours.
which is like, what does he mean on all fours? None of us walk on all fours. That's just an insult. You're just
Yeah.
insulting us.
It's also weird of like a creature that you would expect to be like quadrupedal or whatever it is when they're standing on like two legs. And they're
Yeah.
using like that. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
They're just
The more,
assholes.
The more I started dissecting it, the more I realized that it does actually make sense.
The more you came around, you become Ronso pilled.
The Japanese just says it's a hornless little guy following a summoner around. That's why it looks
gotcha.
like Kimari.
And I like Kamari's just like, did you just come all this way to just insult me? Like he just says, you come to insult
Were you waiting
Kimari?
here to insult me?
Yeah.
Like here on the corner?
Yeah, you were just hanging out here for days to like make fun of me. Well, fuck you, people. Like, and they say, Viran says, wrong. We come to warn little Kamari.
Summoners disappear, never return.
Next will be Kamari's summoner, and they start like taunting him, and they're like, poor Kamari, lose his horn. Next lost his summoner. Pitiful Kamari, how alone. And they
Don't
like
worry,
walk-
Kimari. That just means they like you.
Yeah, they're just negging him. Like they're like,
Yo,
they're
they're so
interested
into
in-
Kimari. Are you kidding me? Come
Yeah,
on.
I know,
They're
yeah.
sitting around waiting for him. Oh, here he comes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, look cool. Yeah, as soon as they walk away, they're like, "Oh, I'm such an idiot. Why did I talk like that? I do that every time."
I do like the implication though that like the Ronso just think all humans look alike.
Yeah, right.
I do
yeah.
like that. Also, I like that how he says "howl alone."
Oh yeah.
Like if you're just listening along and heard that, you might think like "how alone, how alone."
That's
But,
what I thought he said. That's literally what I said. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no. Oh, I thought yeah, but
yeah.
"howl alone." That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And Titus is just like,
Ancient Ronso phrase, "howl alone."
they're just like, yo, do they have something against you? Like, are they just picking on you? And Kamari's just like real stoic and is like, Kamari will deal with them.
Yeah, and Titus is like, "and I'll help."
Yeah, I know. And he goes, Kamari alone.
Yeah.
This isn't shake and bake.
Yes, you can, Tita. You can
Yeah.
help all you want from over there. This is my shit.
Yeah, right. And even like Waka's like, oh, I mean,
Yeah. This, let's get into this because
Waka says-
Waka chimes in. And you think like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense, and then you're like, oh, wait, it's Waka saying it.
Yeah.
He says it's Kamari's problem. We can't interfere. It's a rule.
It's a rule. What
And then-
what
and
kind of rule do you mean? What the
a
fuck?
racism rule.
I like.
And then,
No, I thought it was like a cultural thing. Like even Kimari starts to say like, no, this is my thing. Like it seemed to me like it was something the Ronso like police themselves on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was just like the way that Waka phrases everything is that like rules and taboos and everything like just rule everything around Waka. He's just like, oh, can't do that, can't say this, don't do that. You know, like never question, never wonder why anything is anyway.
Yeah, Waka
Yeah,
just
it's
has
weird
a
how
tattoo.
that keeps coming up, almost like a theme or something.
Yeah, I know.
Waka just has a tattoo that says "rules rule everything around me."
Dudes
Yeah, but-
rock and rules rule.
Lulu says, "I'm worried," and then Waka goes on and says, "Like, let the Ronzo deal with the Ronzo problems." Yeah, which like.
Yeah, that's a little.
I feel like if anyone else said, like if
anyone else said
if Yuna
that.
said that, you're like, okay, it's a cultural thing, like that makes sense. He has to like face his bullies himself, like you
Yeah,
know.
it's just that Waka's like.
But when it's it's Waka who is proven to be really
What about the Ronso on Ronso crime?
no. Yeah, but he says that's
God,
how
Waka's
it's
definitely the Law and Order party member.
yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Yeah, and he says, yeah, that's how it's always been. And Lulu says, I mean, I'm worried about those summoners disappearing.
Yeah, I know.
Which is good, too, because when, like...
Yeah, Lulu says, I'm worried. And he's like, oh, yeah, because of the Ronso. And she's like, no, you idiot.
No.
Because of the summoners disappearing. Like, that's what I'm worried about.
I love that it's a defining trait of Waka that he's like, yeah, it's like, oh man, that's against the rules, right, guys? And like everyone else is just like, sure, okay.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I
No
do
one
love
else
that.
gives a shit about any of the rules.
I do love that, like, more and more everyone else is kind of, like, sick of Waka's shit.
Everybody in the
They-
like in canon in the party is like sick of this shit.
They don't, like, enable it, but they don't, like... They don't feel like dealing with it at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
They're just
yeah.
like, oh, God, here he goes again.
I know. Well, like the thing is, like even still to this point, like I don't mind Waka as like just like
He's a great dude.
this is fine, but like he's just got some stuff to work on. Man. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And Orange says
They aren't just disappearing into thin air.
It's like,
Talking
well,
about the
yeah,
summoners.
he's talking about the summoners, but I'm like, well, I just watched like at least a dozen dudes disappear in thin air during Operation Mihan. Like, they might be.
Perfect crime.
yeah, killing anybody in Spira is the perfect crime because they all just fucking disappear and turn into those little spirit balls. And then like Titus says, "Hey, if we Guardians do our job, then no problem, right?" And like Walker's like, "Whoa,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
ooh, look who's Mr. Business now."
Yeah, Lulu's like confident.
Yeah,
Dude, when people acknowledge what Tita says in the Japanese, he makes the lamest sound. He goes, "Hey, hey." Like, he's so shocked that they actually agreed with him for once.
yeah, I know.
Confident.
Yeah.
言うわね。
There's like, well, this episode, I feel like during the Moonflow, there's like 2 or 3 times where like Titus says something good.
Yeah.
And I was like, my boy's finally getting it. Like, all right, growth. That's good. Like, love
Young
to see it.
man become legend.
I forget who I was talking to the other day, but they said young boy become a blitzball.
Wait, what does that mean?
It might have been you.
Yeah, that's like, I feel like we've been saying that a lot recently. Yeah.
Dehumanize yourself and face to blitzball.
Friendship with Waka ended. Now Titus is my best friend.
I just realized that's like that kid who wanted to grow up to be a blitzball.
Every time we see a blitzball just alone, we assume it's the
Yeah,
kid.
it's that kid. He's like, it's just like everybody else. We keep seeing them along their journey.
Yeah, it's
like, we
like
keep seeing the Chocobo Knights.
Binoculars, man.
Yeah, and like we see Shalinda, we see the fucking Ronso, and then we see the Blitzball kid, and we're like, oh, there he is. He's a Blitzball following us along.
Shalinda, those two, Ronso, and the Blitzball are the ultimate villains of this Final Fantasy.
It's like the sister of the traveling pants.
There's an X potion in a chest.
Is it possible it could be the same Blitzball since Tita keeps just fucking beating it off
He
screen?
keeps
Oh,
kicking
yeah, for
it. Yeah, he's
for
just kicking
sure.
it to the
They all
next
look
area.
the same.
It's like
Just keeps
it's,
bouncing down the high road.
it's a secret mini game that he's actually just playing it like golf rules.
Yeah.
Like he just has to keep going and see how far.
When you get to
under par-
Xanarkin,
Yeah.
it just says par.
Oh, when we
There's
saw,
like 15. Par 15 once you get to Xanarkin. If you only kicked it 15 times, you're
wait,
good.
on the high road, we punted that ball.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any balls since, right?
Yeah.
in the Sin Vision, we saw
Yeah,
a
the one
Blitzball.
Blitzball. Yeah.
That's the ghost of a Blitzball.
Yeah.
This is going to be the how many toilets of Final Fantasy X.
The kid became a blitzball. He kicked it so hard that he killed the kid who was a blitzball, and that's why it appeared in fucking Sin's Ghost World. So he kicked the life out of it.
Oh, Sin's Ghost World? That's my favorite Steve Buscemi movie. Seriously, though, Ghost World's a really good-ass movie.
Seriously though, did y'all see that the Ochu is just a normal enemy now?
Yeah.
I feel like I may have brought it up before, but that, like, it's one of my favorite things when a game does that. Like,
I was gonna say
think they
I
did
like it, but yeah.
FF7, and they do it in Dark Souls, and I bring it up all the time, much to the annoyance of my friends. So I'm so happy that you've informed me of this. So I have a third example.
I'm going to be honest with you all. I completely forgot that the Ochu was a boss earlier in this game.
Lord Ochu of the
Yeah.
Lord of Horse.
Like, I fought it. I killed it. I remember struggling with it, but yeah. They're still pretty difficult. They got like 7,000 HP.
Yeah, I think they have more HP now.
They're putting all my guys to sleep. It was really annoying.
Yeah, so in my
Yeah.
first
Or
trip,
not sleep, I should say. Like they silenced them or something like that.
They can blind them and poison them, and it's
Yeah.
annoying.
in my first like run back and forth in this area, I kind of struggled with these guys here and there, especially because like with Lulu, I only had fire.
Once you get
took,
Fira, it's
it
on.
took a lot of, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and do it, and I was like, okay, I would see it and then like just use flee, and then like once I got like Fira or Fyra or whatever, I say Fyra, I will continue saying Fyra. Like I just started fucking.
I think you were right, actually, according to our Twitter poll.
Oh, was
Spira or Spira?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
According to our Twitter poll, which
Spiraga.
canonizes it.
I think we actually announced. Did we announce on the podcast last week that we were gonna have a Twitter poll for how to pronounce that? Well, we did it, and between Fira, or well, I did Firaga. So between Firaga, Fyraga, and Fyraga, the one that won is Fyraga.
Let's
Yeah.
get Oxford English Dictionary on the phone.
Which is fucked because the one that I used was the least voted one. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That just means you're cool.
But see, you didn't give options for different emphasis. Like, is it Fyraga or Fyraga?
Look, I'm going to fucking cast Firaga and get on my Chicabo and fucking run out of here.
do you like your, do you like Chuck on the Cabo?
Joke on the cop. Fuck.
Oh, Adam's from Chicago.
Yeah, but there's some other enemies here. There's like nothing really too crazy. It's a couple recycled enemies.
I have a screenshot here of Ochu attacking Lulu and poisoning her, and the amount of damage that it did was 311.
Nice.
Bless.
I felt it was necessary to bring that up.
Bless. What else did I want to say about that?
Snowflans.
Snowflans.
And the correct answer to your poll is it's Fyga.
Fyga.
Yep.
Is that what it is in
I'm not happy
Japanese?
about it, but you know, GameFAQs don't care about your feelings.
Say the line, Corey.
Train good, car bad.
We'll have you back for Final Fantasy VIII. So I learned Sleep Attack with Waka here. I learned Magic Break with Auron. Didn't really have opportunities to use either of those, but they're fucking in the bag now. They're tools in the kit, baby. I am looking at a picture that Carl's showing me of Yuna looking like she's doing like a somersault off the back of Ifrit, who's jumping up in the air. They're doing like a real like Banjo-Kazooie or Jack and Daxter move.
Or
like,
Tony Hawk's
Yes.
Pro Skater.
Or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Like in the later versions of the game, like where they like got real weird with it. And
Yeah.
and Shrek was in it for some reason.
I mean, are you guys telling me if you could summon Ifrit, you wouldn't like want to sit in his big beefy biceps?
Oh hell yeah!
Well,
no,
now like this is
absolutely.
like we just
a
have to
good
put
boy.
this up with the
It's a good
fucking Instagram post about it or something. It's really quite wild. She's
it-
way up in the air.
I just happened
Which
to
summon
get-
would be the most fun to ride?
which summon?
I mean, the unicorn.
Well, I was gonna say the
Yeah, that one
unicorn
is
is
really
already
fun.
like a rideable thing.
I'm sorry, Valfor, you can literally fly.
That's true.
Not very high.
How do you know?
Or else we would be at the next
where-
temple by now.
yeah.
Well, no, it's like
why
the
don't
Lord
they
of the
just-
Rings thing.
Why
the
don't they
Eagles
just
can't
fly
carry the whole
Valfor?
fellowship.
Yeah, why can't Valfor just carry us all directly to Xanarkand?
How would
It actually makes sense in this because we have to do the pilgrimage and pray at every temple before getting there. So.
how would Seymour's summon carry you around? would
my
it just drag you
God.
to hell and then like pop you
up.
back up somewhere else?
Like a Diglett.
Yeah, like a Diglett.
Oh shit! What's the bottom half of the summon?
Oh, you do get to see the bottom half.
Is just
eventually.
a big beefy guy like that one comic about Diglett?
Oh yeah, we mentioned that last time too.
Actually, I guess Anima's kind of like the opposite.
He's got boxer shorts.
Yeah. She's like, it's 2 skinny legs with like some heart fucking boxer shorts underneath Anima, like down in the ground. And then most importantly, there's a familiar face along this road.
Ochu.
Lord
Yes, Lord Ochu, Lord of the Belgamine.
again.
Belgamine.
Here she comes again.
She's so cold. She just seems always.
Cold, she's so cold.
Oh, I was gonna say she's so cool. Maybe it's like a voice actor thing, but she's like a badass in the version I've been watching.
Really?
But she has permanent like kind of tired eyes. She just kind of looks very dead.
Mood.
God, same.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's like, oh, hello.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, you would too if you were a washed-up summoner.
All these has-beens.
These young bucks come at my shit. Let's duel.
Is she touring too?
Oh, we'll get the answer to that one. She says, "We meet again. I heard you took part in Operation Mihin. You've seen that Machina aren't the answer. In the end, only summoners can hope to defeat sin." And she's kind of like...
That's called job security.
she's being like a little bit mean, but I like that Yuna's just like, you're right, I must train harder. She says, "I can help with that if you'd like," and then, challenges us to another fucking fight to not the death.
I just love that there's Pokemon battles in this game. It's
Really good. Especially here, this becomes even more Pokemon.
It's workplace safety fighting. It's OSHA combat. Dun, 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 dun.
Now you've seen that only Pokemon trainers can save the world.
So,
There's no
yeah.
bad people, only bad Pokemon trainers.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that's
so
canon.
first she summons
But
Zekrom, Rayquaza.
Bidoof.
Yeah. All we have is a Bidoof, and she summons Rayquaza, and we have to beat her. That's very Mr.
said-
Zwanzig's fucking randomizer that he did, where the very first gym leader fucking had a Rayquaza.
Yeah, and then Zwanzig took down the Rayquaza and
Yeah,
was like, hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then lost to a Yanma.
Yeah.
like directly after that.
Classic.
But so she says to Yuna, "I like shorts because they're comfy and easy to
You
wear."
son of a bitch.
And she talks about how her Rattata is in the top percentage of Rattatas.
And then she heals us, and we prepare for battle. But she summons Ixion, which...
Here we do have the option to either fight or pass. You can do what
Yeah.
I did. You can do what I did and be like, I don't know what my stats are at right now. I don't know. Like,
Oh, yeah, before
what
we get
HP
into the fight,
I
right,
have.
right.
I was like, oh, I haven't had a save sphere in a while. So I said pass. I continued forward. I got to the next part. I'm like, where the fuck's the save sphere? Went all the way back to Jose Temple. Saved
Went
at
all the way
save
back
sphere,
to B-Said.
Went all the way back to B-Sade, saved at the save sphere. And then it came back to Belgamine, and when you say, yeah, like, okay, I'm ready to fight, she says, like, first things first, I'm going to heal all of your Aeons. I was like, God fucking damn it.
Well, I needed it because so she summons Ixion, which seems a little cheap because I just got Ixion. I'm like, you can't use the best one that I have. That's not fair. Like I just got that one. I was gonna use that to wreck your shit.
It should also be noted that there's like a thing of dialogue where it's like, you can summon any Aeon that you want for this fight.
Yes,
But you can't use
except for
Ixion.
Ixion, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we fought Ifrits before. Why can't
Yeah,
I fight you with
yeah.
my Ixion? I was like, here's a tutorial on how to use this new summon that I haven't used
Yeah.
yet. Nope.
Well, we're allowed to use Ifrit or Veilfor, or in my case, Ifrit and Veilfor, because neither of them could fucking do the job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so one of them died, and you can literally just pull out the next one.
Oh, wait, seriously?
Yes, yes.
I did not know that. I had like 64 health left on Veilfor, and I just like I had an overdrive, so I used like I had to Google it. I was like, which one's better, Blast Ray or Blast whatever? And it was like, this one does 50% more damage. I'm like, done.
So you just started blasting.
You just boom started blasting.
I got an overkill, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, I lucked out.
GG.
I
So that
came
means
in
that she's
with-
been pulling her punches, right? Because she has multiple summons.
She has to be.
Yeah.
Especially because you were saying how she sounds like a badass, and like
Yeah.
every one of my battles with her has been incredibly like close.
Yeah, right.
And I like walked away from it. I'm like, I feel like she let me win there. Like I got extremely lucky.
This one is like
This-
skewed in our favor because we can use 2 summons, especially.
Well, that's good to know. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't feel like fucking making this run back from the save sphere.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I just say that Ixion's entrance animation, it always gives me big Gaping Dragon vibes. Like in the way that the
hell yeah.
horn
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
pokes through, and you're like, "What is that?" And then like, boom, the whole thing comes out.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, since if this may be the first time we've seen Ixion summoned, which you can summon it beforehand if you want. But yeah, its entrance is pretty cool. Like if you're watching Yuna summon Ixion, she like opens a portal to electric hell or whatever, and then like shoots a beam of electricity into it from her staff, and then like rips him out of it. Like it was like,
that's so cool.
and like pulls Ixion out. And,
Oh, yeah, like
the,
rains.
the very first
Yeah.
time you do that, she actually says, "Hello, my name is Yuna," and it like neighs, and I was like,
Aw.
that's
Sick.
amazing, so good. But yeah,
It's real cool looking. I think we talked about it before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's got a cool like dagger horn.
yeah,
It looks like a sickle.
dude, it's who is
Oh,
it?
I was saying it looks like the Jose symbol, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
half of the Jose glyph.
Hell yeah.
Just cool looking.
It's really fast. Like it's a very fast summon. That's kind of its thing, I
It's got
think.
4 legs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's got more traction on the ground. It's got more surface area on the ground, so it's faster. Anyway,
Is it
Ifrit-
in 13? There was one that has wheels and shit.
yeah.
Cool.
Is it Doom Train?
It's all of them. So yeah, I summoned Ifrit first, and Ifrit's thing is that Ifrit is not fast, and he had a overdrive ready to go, right? So I was like, boom, overdrive, hit him. So Ifrit does his fucking sick ass overdrive, which still looks sick as fuck, and then just Ixion attacked 8 times in a row. and just
God.
killed him, and I was like, yeah, I guess I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh, so I guess I just like literally it was like a coin flip. I was like, I don't know which one to like do.
Veil 4 is a little bit faster too.
I like was trying to figure it out. I was like trying to look up a strategy and I couldn't find anything immediately, so I immediately gave up. And I was like, yeah, whatever, Val 4. I was like, I just fought with Ifrit. I'm gonna try with Val 4. And I used the like Sonic Wings thing to like give myself an additional attack. And then I did end up like just like barely beating it on the first summon.
Okay, yeah. Because after that I summoned Veil 4. And actually, after that, after Ifrit's knocked out, you get a turn as Yuna. And Ixion will fight Yuna and attack her.
Jesus
So, like,
Christ.
So you actually
I
get
mean, I
a...
guess it does make sense. I mean,
Yeah.
we attack like
No, I actually
normal ass
liked
shit.
it.
Yeah, that's really
I
cool.
They should do
appreciated
that.
that.
They should do that in Pokemon.
for some reason.
When you run out of Pokemon, you just have a
You
fist
just-
fight.
yeah.
It's like, all right, Duke's up.
my brain,
All right, Kyogre, you're going down.
my brain just immediately went to like Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm like, oh my god, Kaiba used like his card to attack Yugi. Oh no.
By the way, I forgot if you guys mentioned it when Yuna first gets Valfor, but the Japanese for it is Valfare, and I looked it
really?
up, and Valfar is a demon of like a Duke of Hell, and it's like definitely not the theme that I got from
from that, yeah.
summon.
From its like gentleness and elegance or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's got boniness to it.
Is there a Duchess of Hell?
Velfor is a female.
Ooh. Is there
taking
a
back-
Duke
we're
of Hell?
taking- I was gonna say,
Guys, I'm
we're-
trying to hit on Valfor here. God.
I'm taking back
Is
the
there
term
a-
Duke of Hell to be genderless.
Is there an ant cracker?
Importantly, once we beat Belkamine, we get. Or actually, I think if we lose, maybe.
I think
even,
you probably get this either way.
the Summoner's Soul.
Yeah,
shit.
the like I know I feel like this game is just setting me up to talk about fucking Dark Souls now.
Can you make any good weapons with that?
Because literally
Yeah.
literally like if you win you get 2 dragon scales and then you also obtain the summoner's soul. I'm like this is just straight up like demon souls or dark souls shit. Like come on.
We can take it to the giant blacksmith in Anne Orlando to turn into a giant fucking scythe.
That would be sick.
Much better than a walk.
Yeah, so I guess maybe if
some
you
people listening are like, you get the scythe in the fucking catacombs, you dumbass.
I guess if you lose she probably doesn't give you the dragon scales but gives you the
Maybe
summoner's
so.
soul.
She gives you the Summoner's Soul and a Smoke Bomb.
No.
So she's just
bombs.
carrying around the soul of another summoner,
Yeah, I want to know more about
and
that.
then she just gives it away.
That
Maybe-
means a
maybe-
bonfire somewhere isn't usable.
Maybe it's like the music kind of soul.
Yeah, it's a record.
yeah, it's a vinyl. Yeah, Summoner's Soul.
The best of summoners.
I'm more into summoners.
She's got a summoner's soul, but she's not a summoner's soldier.
Yo, I like all summoners except for summoners rap and summoner hip hop.
Oh god.
Oh, I said hip hop twice. I meant to say country and rap. We got
Yeah,
both
that's
kinds.
it, yeah.
Summoner country and summoner western.
Here, your prize. Go on, take it.
So the Summoner Soul is a cool thing because it's not a like item that we use in the typical sense. It actually just unlocks a new menu for us in the normal menu.
Yeah, which I like. Immediately it gives you the thing where it's like use this now or pass. And excuse me, I ended up passing because I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to use this yet. I want to know a little bit more about what I'm doing. I don't want to be like, because it gives you like a prompt right away that's like, what do you want to use this on, like Valfor or Ifrit?
Well, I think it's just a
And it brings up the menu. So I was thinking that it was like a consumable that if we beat Belgamine every time we would get the Summoner Soul. And then I was like, oh no, this literally just allows you to give your summons, like your Aeons, a different ability.
Yeah, so now that we've attained this item, it unlocks the ability to up our summons stats or give them new abilities.
Interesting.
So we can spend items that we get throughout the course of the game, whether they're spheres that would go in the sphere grid, or actual like attack items like grenades and stuff like that, to actually give them new attacks. So now we can teach any summon anything. So like Veilfor could learn like fucking, Blizzaga or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Going down the list just quickly, like extract power, extract mana, extract speed, cheer, aim, focus, reflex, like luck, jinx, like all of the things that we've been unlocking on the sphere grid, like with our party.
Yeah.
We can actually teach these to each individual Aeon,
Right.
which is insane. Like I was literally like, oh, this is now Pokemon. And like
Yeah.
the completionist in me is like, I need to unlock all these skills on all of these Aeons. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that right now. I will probably not end up doing that.
All you need is cut and flash and you're good.
Yeah.
The two most OP moves in Pokemon.
You can also use your like power spheres and stuff like that you would use to fill in sphere grid stats and take like 10 or 20 of those and give like a summon like one additional point in any
interesting.
stat as well. So we can also up their stats that way.
Nice.
So we can make Ifrit less slow or something like that. But like to me, it's not usually useful to try to make up for the weak stats, but best to just dump it into the stats they're already good at and make them even more situational.
Nice.
And then when you're ready for that situation, you're like, okay, this one is especially outfitted for it. Although, when we get the next temple, the next temple, fucking none of the other summons in the game matter at that point. So,
Yeah.
we'll just get the next one. It'll be fine. Wait, no, the next one? 2 from now.
Donald Duck.
2 from now. 2 from now.
We get Donald Duck in
That's
2
right.
2 from now.
Yeah, 2 from now we get Donald Duck. Correct. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
We
Whatever.
get to pitch Saria's ocarina against the stone wall of the castle and walk away with the ocarina.
Yeah, this is like extremely JRPG, like, which I love. Like up until this point, like this has been a vastly different Final Fantasy game where it's like it's more about the equipment that you get,
Yeah.
and like the equipment has that weird like procedurally generated kind of feeling of it, where it's like the stats can change and it's not like set in a specific spot.
Which we
of
may
when you
have
get-
something to say about at the end of this episode as well.
Ooh, interesting.
Ooh. Or
But-
the beginning of the next one, possibly. Anyway.
Who knows? But yeah, it's just so fucking cool. Like I got this and I was just like, oh, okay. Here's my number go up part. Of
It's
of
very
Final
number go
Fantasy
up.
X. Yeah.
Now I will say you can burn through your spheres fucking quickly.
Well, yeah,
That's
like
the thing.
even looking at like just the moves of unlocking like extract power, I have 94 power spheres because of that insane grinding I did at the beginning of the game. If I were to use extract power, I would be down to 74. It's like 20 just to unlock
a
that.
lot.
Like not worth it.
So this is the last area of this little path, and when we leave Belgamine and we walk into the next area, we kind of come to a clearing, and there's a big river, right? It's like a real super wide river.
Did you get the hidden chest?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll say that too.
Yeah, you
There's
walk-
also a hidden chest.
Yeah, you can actually kind of see it on the little mini map where
Yeah.
you go over there, and it's a magic death sphere.
Magic Death Jam Vendetta.
Yeah, that's
sphere.
exactly where my brain went. Yeah, but yeah, it's a magic defense sphere that you can use
Yep.
on the sphere grid.
And then we go into a clearing, and there's a great big wide river.
The namesake of the
The Moonflow.
yes,
Yes.
the moon door.
And then we finally get, like, in this cutscene, we'll get the names of those little wispy spirit things that we keep talking about, too.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting. But I'll not use it until we get to that.
Sure.
That text. But Titus walks up to it, and he's like, whoa! 'Cause, it's all pretty or whatever. Ain't flowers stupid, Yeah, but actually it is very, like, it's serene, but again, like, the sky is very, very overcast. It's almost like before a hurricane. Like it looks real rough out there.
Looks like shit.
Yeah, and like the river is like gray because it's reflecting the sky. And so like I do like that this is a very like I feel like it's an interesting choice for like a beautiful fucking spiritual river in a fucking fantasy game. And so I was like, oh, nice. I like that they went here with it instead of making it super fucking like Aurora Borealis, you know, looking.
Yeah.
Like,
It's funny you mentioned that because I was so like just like taken in by like these flowers that are growing off these like lily pads and like these floating like wisps and stuff that like I didn't even notice how everything else looks like shit.
Well, it is very contemplative. Like I remember going to like these kinds of lily pad ponds in Japan, and you know the water doesn't flow, so it is kind of like you know they're usually like secluded kind of areas, and they are overcast a lot. And it's I don't know. You're right. It is kind of nice to have that contrast once in a while, where the whole point is you know you're supposed to just reflect on you know things and take a breath for a while.
And I feel like that even is kind of thematic of this area as well, because like there haven't been any like big action pieces during this.
Yeah.
And like I feel like the whole scene coming up is just like contemplation and stuff. I guess there is actually one action piece, but whatever.
Think about it. Think about it.
So Lulu tells us this is the Moonflow, and Yuna points at those flowers and those lily pads and says, "Oh, these are moon lilies."
And Titus whistles.
Yeah. Woohoo! Yuna says,
They say that clouds of fireflies gather here when night falls.
and that's what those little guys are, those little floating boys. Or pirate flies. Which part of me is like, shut the fuck up. Pyre flies? Because like fire, and you burn things on a pyre.
I think it's
but they come from dead things.
Yeah,
Fuck off, game.
I didn't think of that. I just was like, ooh, fantasy, cool.
Yeah.
Little flowery Shakespearean.
I feel like
kinda.
it's like the kind of thing I do where I just like smash two words together and I'm just like, haha, it works.
Maybe they just have a P. They put the P emoji in front of fireflies.
It's an organization for socks. It's a
Fireflies.
sockinization. Fireflies. Love it. Okay, yeah.
You would not believe your eyes.
1 million fireflies.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, that was a really clever name.
I'm weird because I hate
like-
goodbyes.
Curtis, you might hate that pun, but that was all on the localization team. Like they just call these things like, you know, phantom light flowers. So like the fact that the localization team was like, "Yo, fireflies, yeah, and like,
Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
fine. It's fine. No, it's good. It's good.
I was gonna say the fact that like the localization team was able to like give it a title when like it sounds like the original text is just like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
like is kind of interesting.
If we were naming it, yeah.
It's also Square where they didn't even send a fucking script to the translators for FF8.
Well, like if it was like us and then you came in and we're like, guys, fireflies, I'd be like, you dumb bastard, you did it again. Like, like popping champagne.
It's when everyone like gets together and tries coming up with a band name.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So Corey, how do you say fireflies in Japanese, or what their version of it? How do they say it?
It's genkobana.
Gekopana.
Genkobana.
Spanakopida!
Keiko banana.
Yeah. I mean, genko, like Genkoga is like the name of the river, like the you know.
Oh.
So it's Genden Hana is flower, so Genkobana. I must issue a correction. I just checked and it's Genkoka. Even the experts get it wrong sometimes, boys.
Genko Cabana. It still works.
But Lulu says the entire river glows like a sea of stars, talking about the fireflies being over top of the river. And Titus is like, oh, really?
Hey, I got an idea.
And then Oren just stops him and is like,
We're not waiting till nightfall.
and he's like, oh,
That gets me every time.
I know. He knows what he's going to say. And he goes,
Then, once we beat Sin, we're coming back.
and then everybody just awkwardly just like stands there for a while and like doesn't say anything. And it's like very, very awkward. And like the game is starting to give us a little sense of like...
It's a pregnant pause.
Yeah. Like they
yeah.
know something that Titus doesn't.
Yeah. Like Waka's face here
I'm
too.
I'm already like, kind of pulling... Every time they talk about like...
The future.
The future post-Sin.
Like, hey, wait, why didn't Lord Broska, if he defeated Sin, why doesn't he just defeat him again?
Yeah.
Hey, why do all those former summoners, why don't they just defeat Sin again?
And he's like, oh, Yuna, it's fine. If he comes back, you can just beat him a second time. And she says, I wish I could.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I wish that were so. No one can kill a summoner.
So yeah, and they're all silent for a moment, and like it really just kind of ends with everybody looking out over the Moonflow, like that silence. They all just kind of come together on feeling awkward and being
my brain
oh,
goes
boy.
right back to the end of that Donkey Kong Country and CG cartoon where everyone is just silently riding the minecart after. just dead silence, just awkwardly riding.
The real folk blues from Cowboy Bebop is just playing at the end of it. Have you guys ever seen like the bioluminescent, like I think that's what they're called, like there's organisms that like are in like the ocean or whatever?
Yeah.
I have
It's
not
very
seen them, but I
beautiful.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw them.
I mean, like fireflies.
You mean like fireflies?
Well, yeah, but no, there's like ones in the ocean actually. Like when
Yeah.
I went to a wedding in Florida in like Pensacola, and
A fish wedding.
Sometimes they're used.
They're actually holy
Oh
shit.
my god, here we go.
We got a fucking story now. I was pretty drunk at this wedding in Pensacola.
Pepsi Cola.
And
In
longtime
Pensacola.
listeners of the show will know that I have a cat named Fish who you can sometimes hear this season because he really wants to come in the basement and we don't let him.
Fish got married?
Yeah, no. We're trying to get him
Fish
to
got
marry
married in
Clovis, but they're not saying eye to eye
Pensacola,
yet. So there was a fucking bartender at this wedding who just had a name tag that just said Fish on it.
Yeah.
And I saw that while like kind of drunk already, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, you have the same name as my girlfriend's cat, and I say your name more than I say literally any other word because anytime I'm in my house, I just say, hey Fish, like, and I like told this to this like bartender who's just like, cool. Yeah, so if you're listening, shout outs to Fish, the bartender. So anyway.
Yeah, I drink like a fish and you serve like one. It's
But yeah, I went to the ocean. There was those bioluminescent things. It was very beautiful. Congratulations, Brittany and Al.
Bioluminescent with a cool bee.
Hey, we better hurry or else we'll miss the Shoopuf.
yeah, I know. That's exactly what Waka says to break us out of our like yeah. And I like that like Titus like puts his hands on Waka's shoulder and then tries to lift himself like up over Waka's shoulder to see
To like peek.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Like and Titus is like, Shoopuf, is that some kind of boat? And he just like points, right? He's just like, oh, it's over here. And yeah, I guess then we get like a little cutscene of like Titus seeing what a Shoopuf is and us seeing what one is for the first time too.
Another classic Titus face.
Yeah, yeah, that one.
He says,
We're just
"Whoa,
gonna
what-"
stretch his
that
mouth open real wide. that
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah.
He says, whoa, what the, whoa?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And I'm gonna let somebody else take what this thing looks like.
It's a giant elephant, except its trunk is like
Hella long.
chameleon tail.
Yeah, it has like
curls up.
Yeah, it's like those weird like. Are there birds that have? No, I think it's just insects that have like the little spindly nose.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It looks like it could
proboscis?
drink nectar.
Yeah.
Proboscis.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, the Shoopuf could get so much fucking nectar, dog.
Yo.
It could get
It can get in there.
It could get that nectar.
I curl my extremely long proboscis away from the mic to get nectar.
But from behind it, basically looks like a brontosaurus with a kind of a stumpier tail. But yeah, the front of it is like a kind of a shrew mixed with like.
Take a look at that snout.
Yeah.
So there's a very somber part here where there's a pool of tar and Waka accidentally steps in it and then he tries ripping his taking his leg out with his right arm and then he's like, I'll now use my left arm to get my right arm out, and now to use my head to get my hands out of the tar.
Yeah.
And then the Shoopuf lifts him out.
Yeah.
Well, for now we can mostly only really see it from behind, right?
Yeah.
Is
And
there
it's very large. It's larger than an elephant.
It's like one of those
Yeah,
Lord of the
brontosaurus.
Rings.
It's
one of those Lord of the Rings elephants that Legolas shoots to death.
But yeah, it's like a
Probably.
it's a brontosaurus, stumpier tail, but it has a snoot.
And
really
it's-
curly snoot.
and its back right leg
It's
has
like it's like a party blower.
yeah. Yeah, when it extends its fucking like its
Yo,
snoot, it's
you
like,
know the Shoopuf brings the party. Come on.
But it is again very Star Warsy looking.
Yeah, it's very
this
extremely
whole
Star
part
Wars.
is extremely Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's Shoopuf wranglers. I don't know the name of the species. I think
the Hypello.
Yeah, the Hypello.
And they have a silly accent.
They do. But I want to say one more thing about the Shoopuf. The back right leg has a gigantic gash in it.
Yeah.
Or like a scar.
It's like a scar.
It's
It's a scar, yeah.
It's a scar. It's healed. But
Yeah.
like it has a big old, where there was a big old gash in its leg.
Titus just stands there for a solid like 2 seconds, and then just like, I want to ride it.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
To the group.
I mean, whomst amongst us would not also have that reaction.
Who among us would not want to ride it?
And Waka even tells, he's like, all right, we'll board whenever we're ready. And then there's like a area.
Extremely Willy Wonka-esque
Yeah.
corkscrew.
There's an area right before the boarding area, which is kind of like a little like bench and a.
Yeah, there's like a billboard that I guess says Shoopuf.
Oh yeah,
Shoopuf.
Indeed. And you can get two
Oh, it says
Phoenix Downs.
Shoopuf over and over and over again.
We keep saying Shoopuf because there is a delivery service near Philly,
Yeah.
around Philly called a GoPuff.
Yeah.
We keep saying.
I think they pronounce it that way too.
We're getting
don't they?
money.
No, it's Shoopuf in both versions.
Waka's here, and he's considerably less shitty than he has been.
Yeah.
But he's already made his bed with me. It's too late.
He's a solid neutral, but at this point he's too far gone.
Yeah, exactly. Like him just being
gone
like
goofy.
Oh, hey, how's it going? I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
I love that the little Shoopuf sign is shaped like the profile of a Shoopuf, like a stylized Shoopuf with
Yeah, it's very cute.
the nose and the tail.
Oh, you're right. It is. It's very cute.
They know how to bring in the tourists.
Yes.
It's nice to have a little bit of art at the transit station. You know, it gives you something to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, and Yuna's like super excited about it. She's like, oh, Shoopufs, I haven't ridden one in so long. And like, she tells a story about
AKA me every time I'm going to get on a train, even if I went earlier that day.
She tells a story about the one time she's been on a Shoopuf, and she was with Kamari. And Kamari's like,
Shoopuf shook, Yuna fall in water. Shoopuf scoop up Yuna with long nose. Yuna jump in 3 more times for fun. Kimari worried.
and she just goes, whoops. So like, I do like that like imagery of like tiny Yuna being like, oh shit, like falling off of it, and then like the Shoopuf picks her up, and she's like, oh my god, and like keeps jumping back in over
It's
and over.
really good.
And they're like, oh,
I'm having trouble imagining Yuna going like, oh shit!
Well, I mean, she was like, no, I mean, like, the first time she would probably be worried because she was a child and, like, falling off. Because, like, you wouldn't know what it was going to do. But I guess it uses its long, spindly snout to pick her up.
People die. Yuna dances. Yuna jump in 3 more times for fun.
Beautiful haiku.
And then, if you talk to her again, she mentions that she lived in the city of Bavel until 10 years ago when she moved to Besaid after her
shit.
father defeated Sin.
I did not
Yeah.
get
Yeah. And she explains that Bavel is the largest city in Spira, which I remember when we were talking about Luca, I was like, well, if Luca's the second biggest, what the fuck is the largest one?
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, Bavel.
Where could it be, I wonder?
Yeah, the head of Yevon.
Beeville.
The seat of Yevon. Actually, she says, yeah, the main temple of Yevon is there. But after that, she doesn't want to talk about anything and just wants to get on that damn Shoopuf.
Don't blame her.
Don't blame her. Don't blame her. And then
Kamari has some interesting dialogue as
Yeah,
well. He
he
says,
does.
Biran is troublemaker, but Ronzo do not lie. Summoners disappearing. That was not a lie.
Other men cannot deny.
yeah. And then he says another interesting thing. One more line that he just repeats over and over.
Yeah.
Where he says, it smells like oil.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this baby runs on oil, huh?
Yeah.
You smack the show puff. This baby runs on. You can get so much oil in this bad boy.
And then, like, there's an interesting thing that starts here in this next screen. So this is a screen where we can actually board the Shoopuf at. And there's, like, a little corkscrew lift that can, like, get you up onto the top of it. And there's, like, a little carriage that it carries on its back as well. But there are multiple shopkeepers down here.
Yeah.
And this, like, starts a little trend of, like, this and a couple screens from now. There's, like, 8 shopkeepers.
Oh, is it that
between-
many? Holy
There's
shit.
a lot
Yeah.
between these couple screens. And each of them sell similar wares, sometimes the same wares, but for different prices.
Yeah.
And so it's up to you to know which ones are, like, rip-offs or not.
Yeah.
So
Isn't
I
that
was like,
interesting
oh.
how diverse businesses cluster around transit hubs? Isn't that interesting, guys?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of grifters.
It turns out, after seeing a bunch of different entrepreneurs peddling their wares, I can say for certain that capitalism does not work. Because I just bought something from the first guy and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I
same.
just went on.
Same. I was like, I don't care about any of this shit.
Yeah, right.
I do like all of their pitches though. They all have like a different version of this where it's like,
Yeah.
hey there, if you don't buy anything from me, you'll regret it.
I know. Like, what?
If you don't buy anything from me, I'll kill you.
Yeah, very powerful. One of the guards there says there have been Al Bed sightings around. So stay alert and keep your guard up at all times.
Yeah, and then he says, the Albed have green eyes with a swirl pattern. Report any sightings immediately.
Yeah.
Whoops.
The Hypello, the Shoopuf handler, is here. He says, "Ooh, it's dangerous when the Shoopuf's close. Do you want to be smooshed?"
Yeah.
Or yeah, the way he says it is,
So
wants
cute.
to be schmooshed.
Yeah, like you can tell, like it's not voice acted or anything. You can just kind of like read it, and you can tell
Yeah.
that they're going for some like English is not this thing's first language,
He
or
says-
like Japanese, I guess, whatever.
Don't touch Shoopuf.
Maybe it's just a dialect.
Tails will be slapping.
Yeah, I love that. These tails will be slapping.
1-800, are you slapping?
If this motherfucker act up again, fists about to be slapping.
To be a tails slapping.
Oh, and then we get a fun story from Oren here too.
Yeah.
So he
fun, yeah.
I like it. I think it's fun. But
Good old Uncle Oren telling stories of your dad.
He tells us a story about 10 years ago, and he's like, "Yeah, we were here 10 years ago because they were going to Xanarkand, right?"
And Titus like, history lesson.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And
More bullshit, Oren.
he says Jekt saw his first Shoopuf here. Surprised, he drew his blade and struck it. And Titus is like, "Why?" And he's like, "Oh, he was drunk. He thought it was a fiend." And like, Titus goes, "Oh, brother." Oren says, "We offered."
Honestly, though, like, if you ran around the corner and you saw the back of a Shoopuf, like, I mean, it looks like it could be a fiend,
Yeah, absolutely.
for sure, absolutely.
We offered all the money we had as an apology. Jekt never drank again.
Which is like an interesting close to that.
Yeah, that's really nice.
But I like that he says, "But it would seem that Shoopuf still works here." And I was like, that's the big gash on the side of the fucking Shoopuf. That's where Jekt hit it.
They're still using the same cars as from way back then.
Yeah. I
Gotta
do
upgrade,
like,
baby.
I
They're making
love-
faster Shoopufs now with air conditioning.
I'm surprised no one tagged anything on the Shoopuf.
I love.
It was like the old turtle in Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love
Lockjaw.
Oren.
Lockjaw, yeah.
Oh, I love Oren's next line. I think his next line is fucking incredible and like poetic and like a theme of the fucking game, right? Like, occasionally like in a movie they'll be like, "Oh, they said the name of the movie."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like in this I was
truly
like,
is the Final Fantasy X.
yeah. I feel like here I was like,
Final
you can't
Fantasy
just like
X.
thesis statement the fucking game right out in the open like that. But
I'm just so tired of all these Final Fantasy X's.
he says,
Even after 10 years, Spira hasn't changed. Truly, the place seems to resist change. It would take something unusual.
Come on, Cyndi Lauper, we need you.
Even after 10 games.
It's not unusual.
"Oh, also they say that the Shoopuf is free because the temple pays for it."
Yeah, which is interesting.
They
Public.
subsidize it.
Wow, look at that. Free transit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oren also gives some good advice. He says, "Don't let the peaceful scenery fool you. Be on guard at all times."
Right. We can actually walk further left from here. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where we can find the first save sphere in like 10 screens.
That's very true. There's a first save sphere here, but there's something even more important and dear to my heart here. The Chocobo Knights.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Michan.
No. Oh yeah, I guess he is here as well. But no, I love the Chocobo Knights. They're my homies.
They're
And
so good.
Every time I see them on screen, I'm like, yes, my babies. And Titus walks up and sees them, and they're like, wait. He's like, what's wrong? And they're arguing with one of the Hypello. And should we describe the Hypello real quick?
They look kind of like
They're an amphibious creature.
yeah. So they're very very Star Warsy looking.
Imagine a Star Wars alien. That's
like Jar Jar
blue.
Binks.
Imagine
it looks
if you will.
it looks like Trico.
Yeah, it does. It's a blue Trico.
Oh yeah, you're right. From
But
Pokemon.
they have like his big bulby cheeks or ears and like just two like yellow frog eyes
Yeah.
with big oversized hands and feet.
Yep.
Very good for swimming, I assume.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody, Machen actually will say
Machen,
that.
well,
yeah.
he talks about that.
But they're arguing with one of the Hypello, and Titus is like, what's wrong? And Elma says,
This guy won't let our chocobo on the Shoopuf.
and Titus looks at it and goes, it is kind of big. And she's like, it's just not fair. And the Clasco being the like chill one, or the thoughtful one, is like, yeah, he does have a point though.
So yeah, what we're gonna do if you all came with your own chocobos?
Right.
All the chocobos have to get on.
Elma says, so what? We just leave him behind?
They need some blue chocobos. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. They're the ones that can cross rivers. And Lucille's like, it's no good. We'll just have to find another way. So they're going to go look for a ford where they can cross.
I'm just picturing all three of them like piled on the back of one chocobo, like fording the river, and it turns over, and they all get dysentery.
But yeah, Lucille says, where there's a will, there's a way. And then they run off. And I like Titus is just like, where there's a will, there's a way. Those words stay with me. I wonder how Captain Lucille's doing. And I guess he's just never heard the saying, there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because the two, subordinates, like one loves the captain and the other class goes just like, I'm not so sure about this. And it's hilarious because the captain like rides off on the only remaining chocobo.
I know.
The rest of them run after.
She's the captain.
I love their fucking like back and forth so much. It's so good.
I don't know what the deal is with the one that's like, I love the captain for making me run the whole way.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
no doubt.
Well, I mean, Elma is a one-hit chocobo eater killer. She's she's the strongest in the land.
She's kick-ass, yeah.
So, Machen is here though, and I like that he's just like, would you like to hear a bit about the wondrous Shoopuf? And I'm like, oh, I love that he loves it too. If Machen loves a thing, it's okay to love it.
Yeah,
Like, you can, like it's okay to be, it's cool.
Yeah, and you can say no stories, please, or absolutely.
And there is only one correct option.
Yeah, the only thing that you can choose is actually absolutely, because how could you not?
All right, are you ready?
Look, I mean, not just him, but any enthusiastic old man. Like, would you like to hear about the wonders of the design of trash cans?
All right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm like, I don't even know if I care about the content. Like, I just want to fucking hear this dude talk.
So, as soon as you say like...
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, he says, there are many things we do not know about the Shoopuf. For example, what does it eat? It eats nothing.
The water it sucks through its schnoz somehow supports its considerable size. Some theorize it eats teeny-weeny waterborne organisms. And that, as they say, is that.
He says schnoz.
I love it.
Oh, then you talk to him again like, perhaps you'd like to hear a bit about the Hypello.
Absolutely.
The Shoopuf handlers belong to a race of water dwellers known as the Hypello. They may be slow on land, but in the water they're quick as silvery fish. You'd think they'd make admirable players of blitzball. But their lackadaisical disposition draws them to less strenuous pastimes. And that, as they say, is that.
So the Shoopufs swim, right? Like, because their legs aren't that long.
Yeah, they're really, really...
Well, they have like a fin on top of their
big
tail,
old balloon
too.
boys.
Yeah, I guess they're just very gaseous.
Yeah, they'd be really good blitzball players if they, were fucking nerds. They're like, fuck that nerd shit. That geek shit blitzball.
I like that Lulu and Waka are also here, and I really like Lulu's dialogue. And she says, riding a Shoopuf isn't that much fun. And I like that Waka's like, how little you know. like, actually.
Yeah.
Some things little boys never grow out of.
And then he and Titus are like, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what fucking nerds.
Boys will be boys.
I guess. And then Lulu tells us the merchants here are wily, pick your shops well.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is about they're charging us like ridiculous amounts for stuff. Anyway, there's a couple NPCs who kind of give us a little bit more like world building. One was going to return to Bavel after the tournament, but the Crusaders blocked the roads and he couldn't get through. My plans are ruined. Now what am I supposed to do?
They're ruined.
Yeah. Stuff like that. One of them, somebody back in the screen before this says that space is limited because they only have so many Shoopufs and their carriages aren't very large. But they said, but summoners get priority because they're doing something very important. So, like, you're just good to get on any time.
Rides the Shoopuf?
And let's go ahead and go on the Shoopuf and take a break.
No, you missed something.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
I didn't miss it.
Go ahead.
There's a guy who says something very interesting, which maybe we'll hear a little bit more about as well. There's just a guy on the platform leading up to the Shoopuf, and he says, you say our Machina violates the teaching, eh? Nonsense. These Machina have Yevon's approval. Don't mix it up with the forbidden ones. Got it?
Little bit of a
little bit of
double
goalpost
standard.
moving.
Yeah,
happening. Me thinks there's some goalpost moving in Spira.
Can we take a moment to appreciate how cozy this like little station is?
It's really
it
nice.
is very nice.
Inside.
Yeah,
the little smooth curvy benches and the color tone, like it's all themed together. Like,
do you think that
greens and
when
blues.
the Shoopuf gets to each little station, a little keyboard jingle that was written by the keyboardist for Cassiopeia plays?
Yes.
Wait, was that written by the Cassiopeia?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. Carl, later I'll send you a video about it. It's incredibly adorable.
Oh, hell
like they
yeah.
interview the guy himself, and he talks about how much he loves trains.
Oh, that fucking rules. Really going hard for that Corey demographic.
Yes. In my headcanon, just like the Broad Street line in Philadelphia, every Shoopuf station is a different like color theme so that you can just look and know where you are.
This one's just beige.
This one is teal. No, this is
teal. I see.
Shoopuf launching.
Shoopuf launching.
Oh yeah, the most important thing is that when he takes off, he goes,
Shoopuf.
and it's so fucking cute.
I love it.
Because Shoopuf sounds like depart.
How many puffs could a shoe puff if a shoe puff could puff shoe?
I think that's good enough saying to come back on. And we're back.
I keep thinking about that Dune meme where he's like, wow, ecology, like indigenous rights. And it's just like worm, big worm, giant. And I just keep thinking like shoe puff, big shoe puff, giant shoe puff.
So yeah, we're back from break. In the interim, the president got COVID, and we wish him a speedy death. So we're on the Shoopuf.
We're aboard the Shoopuf.
We're all aboard the Shoopuf.
So we get a Shoopuf in this game instead of an airship. Is that
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Its fucking legs blow off in the last. and it starts
turned into jets.
It's got a sexy pinup lady painted on the side of it.
You're right.
Well, no, I mean this is the airship, but it's already been shot. It's already been shot down by Shinra, so it's just in the water.
What is the part of like a blimp that holds people? What is that called?
What, the cabin? I don't know.
The cabin? What would you say is on top of
cabin,
the Shoopuf?
probably.
Like a
I think they
gazebo.
A chariot? I don't know.
The like gondola or something.
I was gonna say a gondola, but I don't know if that's right.
I'm pretty sure they name it at some point. I could be wrong about that. I could have easily just made that up, but
where does the engineer sit?
I would say like a carriage or something.
A carriage. That's actually a perfect word to describe it.
Yeah, carriage works.
There is a carriage.
It's a hat with seats.
A saddle.
There we go.
Yeah, there's a
tandem saddle.
The Shoopuf is basically large enough. Like when we're riding it, there is a carriage on top of it, right? And like it's pretty comfy. And like
It's like one of those bicycle bars.
Yeah.
They drive around. Those are like pedal bars.
Yeah. It does look like one of those.
It is
without the table.
A howdah, which is what an elephant saddle is called. Because that's an actual.
What language does that come from?
Hindu, I believe.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Derived from Arabic.
There you have it, folks.
Well, I bet the Hypello have their own word.
Well, this has been fun, guys.
We cracked the code.
But like the party is sitting around it, and there's like some like nice little couches on it, and there's like a roof, to keep the sun off of whoever's going across on the Shoopuf. And our party's sitting there, and Waka says, "Hey, take a look," and he kind of like motions over into the water. And Titus stands up and like leans over to the side of the carriage and looks into the water. And there's like a sick fucking sunken city like below the water that we just don't get to visit, I guess.
Very, very reminiscent of that one that we saw very early in the game.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Or when we were swimming after.
Yeah, I thought that too. Yeah.
I'm assuming that just most of the
Oh
water.
yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Most of the water, I'm assuming, is just full of cities.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking a lot about like when Xanarkand gets attacked by Sin, and it's basically flooded, right? Like that huge tidal wave comes through. Like we don't really know what Xanarkand's gonna look like when we get there. Or I guess I don't know. I think if we're assuming that the opening scene of the game is at Xanarkand, it looks like the whole city's been sunken, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, we're on the road
it's
to
really
it.
cool.
It's
really
to
cool
Xanarkand
to see a city like this.
But yeah, Waka says it's a Machina city, 1,000 years old. We're like, what is a Machina city? Everything is Machina?
We built this city
on Machina.
They built this city on top of bridges across the river. And Lulu chimes in and she says...
it's kind of like a French type style city. It's kind of like the analog I've always thought of Xanarkand.
Yeah. And Lulu says...
Italy.
Yeah, one or the other.
The wet ones.
Oh yeah, like a Venice kind of situation.
Venice,
yeah.
The moon hits your eye.
Lulu says, but the weight of the city caused the bridges to collapse and it all sank to the bottom. And Waka just immediately goes into shit heel mode of
I know.
broken record territory here. He says, right, it's a good lesson. And Titus,
the lesson here is about city planning and why it's important. And competent engineering.
I hope you boys don't mind if I step in here.
Save it for the urban planning channel in the Discord.
Doesn't Titus say something about like it's probably because it's convenient to be near all that water, right?
Yeah, so Waka's like, yeah, it's a good lesson. Why build a city over a river? And Titus says, well, it would be very convenient with all that water there. And Waka literally cuts him off.
No,
that's not why.
Actually, that's not why.
Besaid is literally like surrounded by water.
Yeah. And Waka goes,
They just wanted to prove they could defy the laws of nature.
and I like Titus is like, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
Which is
Dude,
like,
it's so ridiculous. Like, every city is built near water. Like,
I know.
Like, every major mega city in the world is like completely surrounded by water. Because,
Not
like, that's how you
Manhattan.
transport goods.
Not Tokyo.
Yeah. It's that desert city known as New York.
That's why LA is the best city in the world, baby.
I mean, LA is also by the sea.
Yeah, it's very close to the
The Pilgrims landed in the savannah.
I was thinking a little bit about it because, they show you that map. If you think about, like, if you look at the dotted line that shows the trajectory of, like, the Shoopuf ride, right in the middle is, like, this meeting point of all of these different inlets. And it actually would make sense for there to be a city here if it's, like, the junction point between all of these kind of trade routes. Like, because all the land around that kind of water would be super fertile. Yeah. And, you would have to transport it to a port to take it out to sea, which is exactly where this would be.
no, Corey, that's not why. It's because they wanted to prove that they could defy nature.
Yeah,
They wanted to
spit
defy
in
God and
Yevon's
man.
face, yeah.
Well, one could also.
They're trying to attack and dethrone Yevon.
Well, all these junction points could also mean there's a lot of erosion.
That's true.
But I mean, that's
sin works
like
in
why
mysterious ways.
that's why like Pittsburgh and St. Louis and New Orleans got so big is because they were at these meeting points of these rivers before it moved to the next stage, right? New Orleans was like one of the biggest cities in America in the 1800s because it was like the last stop of all of the trade coming down the Ohio and Mississippi rivers, and you would turn it over to like go out to sea in the Gulf of Mexico, and like it just became a huge trade hub.
Yeah,
So,
it makes sense.
I'm actually it's really cool. Like I'm impressed that like they like I don't know. It feels like they put it there on purpose, right?
And it makes Waka suck even more.
Oh, Waka totally sucks and doesn't know anything about urban planning.
Yeah, and
All he knows is blitzball.
it would make sense to the creators too if they're trying to create like an organic feeling world, even though there's like all this like sci-fi technology and shit. Like they still want to make it be like, oh, okay, well, why would cities be in these places? So I think it makes sense that they would be like, well, let's just look at how like actual cities like started popping up, and there was.
You know what was weird? I never really thought about. Midgar was in a big basin, like it was like below sea level. Like there's in a crater, isn't it?
No. I think it was built and then just drained all the life out of everything.
A veld. It was on like a big valley.
Yeah, it was like a valley near the sea.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't think it was in a crater.
It's good for farming.
Well, I mean, a
and there's all that,
in like
all that Mako
a valley.
boys.
Yeah.
All that Mako boy.
You pull some of that Mako out, and ooh, baby, you got a stew going.
Well, I was just like, oh man, like you would think that water would get in there, and like I think in the end scene there is water in there.
Yeah.
It made me think that like maybe it even fucking drained like water from it as well.
Well, then they don't have to pump it out; they can just let it come to them.
Yeah.
And even when you're away from the sea, so first of all, like it's kind of funny like how often big cities flood, right? But it's because they're built in fertile land, because that's where you start farming first, right? And a town forms, and then it gets bigger and industrializes. And like the places that are most fertile are where it frequently floods, right? Because it irrigates all the water and brings sediment and like minerals in, and like so it's actually very common, and it's flat, right? It's easy to build on. And so, like, it's kind of interesting, even outside of, like, coastal cities. If you think about, like, the Appalachians, right? All the cities in the Appalachians are in the valleys, between all these, like, ridges because, like, it's flat. That's where all the water runs down into, like, it makes sense that it would be there.
So what you're trying to say is, they built this city on fertile land.
And then Waka says,
Yevon has taught us. When humans have power, they seek to use it.
If you don't stop them, they go too far, yeah? And Titus is like, yeah, but don't you use Machina too? Like,
got him.
Yeah, get his ass. And
he's like the stadium and stuff, right? And then Lulu says, Yevon, it decides which Machina we may use and which we may not. Sus.
It's like very ironic the way he says that, right? Like when people have power, they seek to use it. Because he's basically describing, the
the organization,
like the church, right?
The
church itself. Because it's clear, that they're abusing their power in some way right now.
Yeah, and they kind of just proved that in Operation Mihan, where they were just like, oh, like, we know that this isn't going to work out, but it works to our advantage, so we're going to let all these people die.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really great foreshadowing there. Like he's like, yeah, this is why you should never let anyone have power.
Yeah.
We know this because the people that control the entire world told us that.
Yeah, right. Titus says, so what kind of machina may we not use then? And Waka says, you remember Operation Mihin? That kind. So literally any kind that just he doesn't like, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like any
weapons is what he means.
Is that what he means?
I don't think it means just weapons because it's also conveniences and shit that they're talking about.
In Mihin?
In Mihin specifically, but he also doesn't like...
but he's literally like, they're like, okay, well, give me an example of
all bed.
What...
I think he's just saying just all bed machina.
Pretty much.
I wonder.
Yeah, because he's like, which machina is good and which machina is bad. I don't want to offend Yevon or whatever. And it's like, remember the kind that was just shown that doesn't work? Yeah, that kind. It's like, that doesn't fucking help me. I know that.
How convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very smart. No, but like, actually, speaking of technology and convenience, if you remember, like, from the shot of the underwater city, the whole city was built on a bridge.
Yeah.
Right? And what are we doing right now? We have to ride this weird monster across, like, the water because there's no fucking bridge.
Yeah, right,
And Luca is on the water, too.
Well, no, but also
Lucille
like
and Clasco and everybody have to go around. Exactly, that's what I was just saying.
Like,
they could have just gone over a bridge.
The reason I was looking at the map was because I was like, okay, how far out of the way is it for them, right? And it's really far because they have to go like all the way around all those little like jagged kind of inlets. And it's like, wow, this would be a great place to put a fucking bridge. And then you find out, like, oh, there was a bridge here, and it was sunken mysteriously.
You actually can build a bridge here, but in order to do that, you have to go to the Temple of Chaos, or the Shrine of Chaos, as it's known in some localizations. You have to beat Garland, and then rescue Princess Sarah, and then the king will finally build the fucking bridge for you.
Yeah, and Lulu continues on, and she basically continuing on from what Waka was saying about, like, oh, we're not allowed to use the kind of machina in Operation Mihin. She says, or war will rage again. And Titus is like, war? And Yuna explains, more than 1,000 years ago, mankind waged war using machina to kill. Waka says, they kept building more and more powerful machina. Lulu's like, they made weapons so powerful, it was thought they could destroy the entire world. And when I was like reading all this, I was like, is this supposed to be Earth? Is this nuclear weapons?
Like, a little on the nose with it, yeah. Listen, all I'm trying to say is that the only thing that can stop a bad guy with machina is a good guy with machina, okay?
Look, you really think that like Japanese artists would be like obsessed with the idea of nuclear weapons? I mean, come on, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So without like reading like every single line or whatever, continuing on, the gist of it is that like 1,000 years ago there was war, and it just wouldn't stop. It went on for a really long time, and people just kept getting more and more machina. People thought the entire world was going to be destroyed.
More and more powerful machina, back and forth.
And then, like...
They built bigger boards with bigger nails until they ultimately destroyed.
And one day they built a board with a nail so big
it could pierce the world.
But the end of the conversation is just like, oh yeah, machina is only as bad as its users.
Yeah, literally
that's literally what Lulu says. And then
machina doesn't kill people.
Yeah, but
we're fine as long as the incredibly powerful despots that control this world tell us exactly what to do.
I think the only people who should have machina are the church monks or whatever. The warrior monks.
The incredible creepy like like JRPG villain fucking people that have incredibly strong powerful magic.
But yeah, they do say that like at the peak of the war though, like when it was at its worst and like annihilation was assured almost, that sin arrived. That's like the first time anybody saw sin, and it destroyed all the cities. Yeah.
How convenient.
Curiouser and curiouser.
You seek to fight sin, and yet you follow the doctrines of sin.
Curious. Yeah.
I'm very smart.
But yeah, so sin comes, destroys all the cities, destroys the machina, and Lulu says the war ended and our reward was sin. And that's like why Waka, then he's like, yeah, that's our punishment. That's if you let machina get out of hand, if you let humans continue to build, sin comes and destroys them.
Actually, like this conversation more than anything in the game so far has made me start to hate Yevon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can just see it all coming together, right?
Yeah. And then like Waka once again scapegoats, and he's like, it's because people like the Al-Bed screw everything up.
Yeah, like literally like the most racist way of like summing all of that up.
No, look, it's real simple, okay? Without a dominant superpower hegemony crushing resistance around the world, then we'll have endless war, because people who are different from us will come in and they'll use their advanced technology, which almost rivals our own, but not quite, to threaten our hegemony. So it's really, really important, that we all do exactly what the despot in power says so that we can live in peace.
That's too fantastical.
Yeah, we're getting a little too Final Fantasy here.
That's a little too fine. That's a little too Lord of the Rings.
We're trying to keep it relatable on this podcast, okay, Corey?
Let's wind it back to the semi-Final Fantasy, okay?
The penultimate fantasy.
Speaking of semi-finals, I don't know if I've announced this on the podcast yet, but I've been playing a lot of Blitzball just because I've had more.
You're
downtime.
A monster.
Oh my god, I am firmly in the camp of it's good actually.
Carl continues to dehumanize himself and face to Blitzball.
But anyway, then some goofy shit starts happening around the Shoopuf.
The Shoopuf runs into something much like a car would, where it crashes and whoa!
It ran into some solid water.
So what was it? I said that on one episode of the podcast. I was like water but solid, and Carl was like, "That's ice," and I was like, "Oh, I guess it is."
The driver's like,
we got a good look at him.
Be?
I know. What could that be?
What could that be? It's so good.
And everybody
take his retainer out.
Everybody stands up to look around, and Aaron just goes, "Sit down," and he's talking to Yuna. Which, I mean, Aaron is on fucking point.
Yeah, Aaron knows what's up.
He's ready. He's just sit down. But it's too late.
Aaron's the only professional.
He is. He really is.
Yeah, if the Pope Mobile gets an attack, the Pope shouldn't be getting up.
Yeah. The Pope's like, I'll take a look around and see what that is.
Kate slams into a barrier, and the Pope gets up and looks over the edge like, oh, I wonder what that was.
But one of the Al Bhed does jump down from the top of the little canopy.
Oh no!
And grabs Yuna and then dives into the water. And I like that Waka and Titus just waste no time. They immediately jump into the water.
Another very
really
good
cool.
screenshot of Titus just diving out of the Shoopuf into the water. When you see this all in the cutscene and stuff, it's pretty cool. It's pretty quick and stuff. But when you see just a still of it, it's extreme.
That one's way better.
Even the Al Bhed jumping down and being near Yuna is very silly.
Yeah, I have that too.
In still form.
It would be funny if for a split second, Titus oh yeah, Yuna told me she likes jumping in the water.
Oh yeah,
the Shoopuf just grabs her.
Yeah, what? It's
Kimori just shakes his head and he's just this shit again.
Yeah, the Shoopuf just reaches down and grabs the Al Bhed and Yuna and just puts them back in the gondola. And the Al Bhed's just really awkward. He's like, well, not where I thought I would be. But we walk in, Titus dive into the water, and we get into a battle.
Yeah. We kind of see before the battle what we're going to be fighting. If we want to try and describe it, it's
basically the Obliterator.
It's the Obliterator.
Yeah.
But it's got a new. It actually looks like the Obliterator bottom has been tied to the top of something else.
It's got cool flag sort of things that almost look like seaweed with glowing orbs on the end of it.
It has kind of a jellyfish kind of.
Yeah, very jellyfish.
Because it has glowing tips on these 6 kind of petally feather tendril things.
Yeah.
And in the center is Yuna in a bubble.
Now I did have.
She keeps getting kidnapped by this dang Al Bhed.
Yeah.
I did have thunder weapons that I could equip, so I tore this thing the fuck up.
Yeah, this thing. I don't know if there's a gimmick to this fight because
there's one.
Because I just kind of had no trouble at all.
Yeah.
For the same reason I had lightning weapons and just kind of.
Shouldn't lightning weapons hurt you guys too?
Yeah, you would think.
Since they're in the water. Yeah. Maybe it's salty enough.
It's like tickling, and you can't tickle yourself.
So this has an attack called the Aqua Shooter. It'll hit you with. It does some decent damage. It did a little bit over 200 to me, but its gimmick is that at certain points in the battle, it will float up a little bit. What would you call it? A higher altitude, I guess, than you are.
Get higher, baby.
Don't try it.
Get higher,
I have
baby.
the high ground.
Yeah, it'll take the high ground,
baby.
And it'll drop mines.
Like death charges?
Death charges. But if you attack it while it's in the air and do enough damage, which is really easy to do, it just goes
never mind.
Yeah. It kept doing that to me, and it was readying depth charges. And then I would hit it, and it would just float back down. I'm like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah, this thing is called the Extractor, by the way. So
nice.
It's extracting Yuna.
Not as interesting as the Obliterator.
Not quite.
No.
Same purpose, though, it seems, to protect Yuna from being saved.
The Ochu that we fought in the last area as a regular enemy is more difficult. than this boss, so- and I think has more HP.
I just remember seeing Yuna in that little like orb on top of it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, here comes a classic fucking Final Fantasy
Yeah.
boss battle
Yeah.
where
Where, like,
we
you
gotta
have
be
to-
careful because we can't hit Yuna because we can like KO her and then get a game over.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
but that is not the
no,
case.
not at all. Like you
No.
can literally like just go to town and not even worry about.
Yeah,
that.
I guess we should
it's
say there's
weird
like a
how
little.
it's weird how the bubble she's in protects her somehow.
It is, yeah, we should say that like in this battle we see Yuna in a bubble on top of the extract,
Yeah, so like when we're going to attack, it's like in close proximity to Yuna.
but it doesn't have any significance to the actual battle. It's
just the way it
visuals.
looks.
I like the pennants. It's got like a very festive kind of, almost like medieval like flags kind of coming off of it.
One thing I do want to say about it is after you beat it, it shows you like the screen where you like level up and everything, and Yuna is included in the battle.
I know, but she doesn't,
like she doesn't
get
get any AP. It's like if you didn't use her at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, right. I took a picture of that
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
yeah.
she's fallen off of the Shoopuf a million times, so she doesn't get any experience from it this time.
yeah. She's capped out on the experience
I
she
got
can
a
get from that.
Mega Phoenix.
Ooh,
Nice.
me
and,
too.
And a Null Frost shield.
Oh, I got a Null Tide Bracer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
How about them apples?
But now we're back on the gondola.
And we're back on the gondola. We're back on the Shoopuf. Lulu says, "Are you hurt?" to Yuna. She's like, "No, I'm fine." And of course, Walker goes into his old thing. Oh, those albedo. And
The driver's just like, is everybody okay?
Yeah, I know.
He says,
I believe I told you to keep all hands and legs inside the vehicle.
He
You've
said
done the opposite.
He
Yeah.
said going well, but the last L was weirdly a capital I for some reason.
That's a deep cut.
That's good. Got him. It got his ass.
Yo, I love that sometimes on these cutscenes when there's a close up on Lulu, like her hair is just freaking out.
Yeah. Sometimes like the graphics and like the engine doesn't quite work on it.
like the long parts of her hair.
Yeah. And then like Yuna from the back, she, like, because I guess like the Hypello driver has like not seen anything that's happened. He's facing forward, right? And he's like, "Is everybody all right back there?" And Yuna's just
No,
like,
I feel like
"Yeah,
he's
no, we're
just, like-
good. Yeah, we're all good."
He's like this better.
He's just like a bus driver. He's like, not this shit again.
Yeah, you
Are you guys
better
done?
thank the bus driver.
Always thank your Shoopuf driver.
Yuna in classic form apologizes.
Yeah,
for that,
no,
even
she's
though
like,
it's not.
"No,
her
we're
fault.
good. It was nothing."
Yeah, I'm okay. Like, sorry, like we're all okay. But it's like you don't have to apologize. You were just fucking kidnapped.
All
Well,
good
I
here.
love
Everything's fine here. How are you?
I love how she stands up to apologize, and then Auron scolds her, and then she apologizes to Auron.
Yeah. And then Walker sits down and he like hits his leg and he's like,
Damn the outbid! What do they want from us?
"Could it have something to do with Luca? What are they after Yuna for? Wait, they're mad that they lost the tournament. Wait, they're mad about
must be
Operation
Blitzball
Mihin."
related.
I love that he just
That he thinks it's
instantly
about
goes
the
to
tournament.
Blitzball. He's like, wait, it's probably they're
Yeah,
pissed
yeah.
that we beat them in the game.
Lulu's like, "I wondered."
Didn't Kamari's clansmen say something about summoners disappearing?
It's like we've been hearing about summoners being kidnapped. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
And Walker's like, so the Albed are behind it. Those.
Ooh,
I was
Walker,
like,
you've really cracked
Alex.
this one wide open.
Alex, I need you to bleep out all of.
Yeah.
Because my God,
I
dude.
know. That's what I thought too. I was like, Walker.
And then there's just the most
yeah.
awkward grandpa saying something racist moment.
Yeah,
It's
so
so
like
good. Like,
everybody's
every-
like quiet. Yeah,
And it's
and
just
like,
like-
Titus is like lounging. He's like fully lounged out. He's got his arms behind him, draped over the back of the little couch that he's on or whatever.
I gotta say, credit where credit's due.
Yo, Titus got some points.
Fucking yeah,
Titus got some points this time.
He's growing on me here.
I think
he's
he might be back to zero with me. Like he may have like
he might be at a 1 for me.
I'm ready to like I'm ready to start over with Titus. I'm ready to be like, all right, where are you taking
I'm like,
it
I
from
had
here,
you
buddy?
pegged all wrong, dude.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
could you
all
go?
right.
How could you go and do
Respect.
something like this and totally redeem yourself?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, go ahead.
he's like lounging super cool, and he just goes, "Hey, Waka."
And it's really casual too.
Yeah,
like he's
yeah,
like,
yeah. And he's
oh my
like,
God.
"It's no use complaining about the Albed right now, right?"
We'll protect Yuna from anyone, anywhere. It's that easy. That's all I need to know.
And like he like just successfully diffuses all of like Waka's like pent up racial rage.
Yeah, he like completely diffuses it and like focuses it into a more like productive
Yeah,
place.
being like, hey, how about instead of focusing on one group of people, you focus at like the task at hand and say like, oh, anyone could be doing this to Yuna, and we're gonna take on anyone who does that.
Exactly.
And we're not gonna fucking generalize and be racist assholes about it. Yeah, and
super
he goes,
good.
Waka's like, yeah, I guess so. And Lulu's like, you're right. And then it shows like Yuna, and she like whispers to Titus.
She like
She's
mouths
like,
it. She doesn't say it. She's like,
thank you. Yeah, it's like, and it shows it in like parentheses and stuff in the subtitles. Oh, it's so good.
Dude, he came back. He came back for me, my boy.
Right on, Titus. I apologize for some of the mean things I said about you. Not all of them.
Our little boy has finally learned to read the fucking room.
Young boy has gotten closer to becoming legend.
But that's the end of that scene, and we're on the other side of the Moonflow now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done Moonflowed.
Yeah, we've Moonflowed.
Flowed.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, we get to the other side. We see Lulu, Yuna, and Kimari are kind of standing under a little tent, and like there are people swarming Yuna. Right?
It's a similar station to the one that we were just at on the other side.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and like I like
a fucking chain.
The very first lady who's standing here is like, oh, so that's Lady Yuna. No wonder. I can see why the Albed would go after someone like Lady Yuna.
Not a good thing to say.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It has the same sort of energy as just like,
I guess,
being like, oh, you should have taken that as a compliment. Like, shut up.
I'm kind of choosing to take it as like she means like, oh, she's incredibly personable.
Oh, I was thinking,
and, like,
charismatic,
and beautiful and stuff. So like, it's like fuck off.
Kimari's beating himself up. He's like, Kimari fails Guardian. Kimari never fail again.
Yo, hell yeah.
Which I mean, like he could have jumped in with us, I guess.
Yeah,
He
sure.
didn't get a
He's a cat. He's a cat.
He doesn't like water.
He
Yeah.
don't like water.
No, but all the Ronsos are WAPs, as we've established.
Oh yeah, they have a football team.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? I was gonna say,
I was just like, I vow never to fail again unless there's water involved.
I was gonna say, I thought it would be like that episode of Pokemon where like the one guy doesn't want to go out on his Pokemon journey until his Sandshrew wins 100 battles in a row, and he like makes it dive into like water to like build up its endurance and shit. It's pretty fucked up.
And
is this the first time that Tidus has beaten Kimari to the punch on saving Yuna?
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time, right? Usually,
he's
the
winning
one
some
that
points,
jumps in.
and Walk is standing here too, and he's like, "There might be more. Albed, keep watch." And he's like still like sticking around looking
In
at this.
orange.
Okay, Grandpa, we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, right.
Orange just says guard Yuna.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He's on his thing. And there's some more people around here. There's we can see the Shoopuf on the other side.
Yeah, and where the Shoopuf is, like the other one, or I guess just the one that we just rode, there's an Albed primer there.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see it pretty easily.
What letters do we have this time, Carl?
M equals L.
Oh, baby. Mole.
It's the loon flow.
The loon flow.
We got Ke equals He and Lo equals Ho.
Yeah, so you can get that and achieve the rank of Albed Mainhan Muad'Dib.
Yeah, you heard it here first. So there's there's Yevon guards here, and they're all also worried about like Albed coming in. So like, this is not a point in Waka's favor, but it seems to be a pretty commonly held opinion of the Albed.
Sure, yeah.
Through like all of Yevon, right?
Yeah.
That they may just be using Machina to justify their hate, and that isn't actually the purpose for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of them tells you that they have green eyes that have like spirals, and they use goggles to hide their eyes. So like he says he's
saying the important thing you must know is that real eyes can realize
real lies. There's a lady here who says, I thought I was lucky not to run into any wily merchants on this side of the shore, but I ended up buying something from that man over there. His goods are cheaper than the other ones, but he seems suspicious, and like Waka's standing here.
There he is.
Did he swim?
Yeah, how did Waka get here?
Honestly, I feel like he probably would.
He probably
he probably
swam. Leaped onto one of the legs of the Shoopuf at the last
second.
Yeah, just like
so held on.
save
Listen,
fair.
Listen, say what you want about Owaka. Say anything about his questionable practices. Dude knows a deal when he sees one. I think he should run the country.
Oh, no!
He's a deal maker.
Owaka is a successful businessman, okay?
Yeah.
Oh
We should run Spira like a business, okay? What could possibly go wrong?
Look, Owaka started a thriving business after he received a small loan of 1 million gil from his father.
From his
No, because aren't you guys his creditors basically? Like since you're
Yeah,
giving him all
from
that money?
Titus. Yeah, after he received 10,000 gil from Titus. Yeah.
One of Yuna's guardians is funneling funds into Owaka's empire.
There is an NPC here, I think, that says something pretty interesting about the place we're getting ready to get to, Guado Salam, right?
Yeah.
So, like, basically, the road to the Moonflow, and the road going from it are leading to a place called Guado Salam that the Guado are from, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Seymour is. But there's an NPC here who says, Sin took my daughter, but I saw her again for the first time in 5 years. That Guado Salam place is amazing.
Yeah.
Now I've seen my daughter, I have no regrets. I'm ready for the far plane any time now. So, like, what? What's going on here? That's interesting.
It's like that time that Tupac showed up at that one award show as a hologram.
That was Guado Salam.
Yeah, it was
they brought the far
Salam,
plane
yeah.
there.
God, I also just want to say the far plane is such a cool fucking word.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Good.
It's the heavy
The fart plane.
Yeah, right, yeah.
In cats.
But yeah, as we start talking to NPCs around this area, we start learning that, like, Guado Salam is a place that many visitors come to. Like, a lot of people visit here from all over the world. And the Guado they have a little bit of, like, a hatred for humanity, but they're like kind of better than it, maybe. It's kind of how, like, they see themselves. They're like, look, we're not in love with everybody else but the Guado, but it's our duty to protect them. Like, we have to, like, when people are visiting here, we will send people out to make sure that they are protected coming in and that they're fine when they're here and no harm will come to them, and we'll engage in politics or whatever. And, like,
is that why Seymour sounds like Dr. Manhattan sometimes?
Yeah. He's grown tired of these people.
Tired of these people. Yeah, I'm sure that attitude towards the rest of the world won't be a problem.
Yeah, that won't be a thing.
No,
we don't even need to bring it up. I'm sure it's not going to be a major plot point ever.
But there's something going on in Guado Salam that, like, allows people to see
There's something
the dead.
rotten in Guado Salam.
Guado salami.
A mystery is afoot.
A mystery is afoot. Well, we do start hearing the idea that, like, people are talking to dead people in Guado Salam.
Yeah.
So, like,
there is literally a specter haunting Guado Salam.
Certain practices the Jedi might find unnatural.
There's an NPC who's an old crusader.
Have you heard the legend of Lord Braska? What am I saying? Of course you haven't.
No, that's not something the Albed would tell you.
Yeah. There's an NPC who's a crusader here. It says, should I stay a crusader or follow a different path? I want to discuss this with someone on the far plane, but maybe I shouldn't. It's my future, so I should make my own decisions. And so, like, there is something going on. What is it? Ooh,
Yeah.
it's spooky.
Like talking to, like, what, like fallen friends at
Fallen
the end or
homies.
something?
Yeah.
Have you been to the far plains? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you haven't.
I'm like, I'm trying to kick it with Chapu in the fucking Guado Salam. Let's go, dude.
Well, the next episode's going to be real good for you. Anyway.
Yeah, no. I was like, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, yeah. They wouldn't just talk about Chapu as much as they have without, like, having that
I
be
can't
a
wait
thing.
to meet this person who's going to look exactly like Titus.
Yeah.
It's a mustache.
He's got a mustache.
It'd be so good.
That's the only difference between them.
It'd be so good if Guado Salam is just like a bunch of like Guado like putting like sheets over them and being like, "Ooh, it's me, your old friend, Bonder."
Pre-programmed hologram. Yes, it is I, your mother. It's nice to see you again.
What are those performance psychics who are like, I'm getting something a C from over here. Something with a C, a C.
Wait a second.
Like Carolyn. Yes, Carolyn. Yes, I'm getting a word from Carolyn.
Oh, Chapu here. So sorry I died. I'm in heaven. I'm happy. I don't want to come back. Anyway.
That was a lot of references.
Yeah, I know. We really did it. But there is a road. Like, it looks very similar to the other side of the Moonflow.
Just backwards.
Yeah, just backwards.
It's just mirrored like if you're playing Twilight Princess on the Wii instead of the GameCube.
Yeah.
Everyone over here is left-handed for some reason.
But as we rock and roll,
as we rock and roll,
as we rock around the as we walk along the path, like the initial path kind of takes us along the Moonflow for a minute, even though we are on dry land now and we're getting head further into land. But as we come to the edge, just as we're about to turn to the right and go toward Guado Salam, there's a body laying on the shore. A body. It's Laura Palmer from Twin Peaks.
God damn. Twin Peaks has such a good soundtrack. Anyway, yeah, we see a body that may look familiar.
It's an owl bed.
But not too...
Yeah. It's an owl bed, and Titus looks over them and says, "You're not dead?" And they stand up. Who is that? Who's that?
We see a butt that we know all too
well. We see a butt that we know Nomura likes to fucking focus on and leave the camera on for too long.
I know that butt.
Yeah.
I know that butt anywhere. And then, it kind of, it shows them stand up and...
I forget how fucking good the FMVs in this game look. As soon as it clicks over to it, you're like...
It switches to an FMV, and it's so good.
They got so good at doing these, like, cutscenes and FMVs in this game. They look
when she presses the buttons on her, like, buckles and, like, all the clothes... not clothes, but, like, her like, gear starts coming up. I'm like, it looks so fucking cool. Like, I want to roll into a party and just be like, click, click, clack, just like all my gear just fucking falls off. I'm here.
I would love to see behind the scenes stuff of this in tandem with like when they're working on like Spirits with not Spirits.
Oh yeah,
Spirits with it.
Oh, Spirits with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just like, oh hey, we figured out like really good animation and let's like.
Also, is his hair like pinker in the CG than like
it looks like?
Yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit about how I think it was probably different teams working on it with maybe slightly different variations on like character designs and how they're kind of they all look a little different in
it's like, oh, we thought you wanted him to look like Trunks.
But yeah, so this character is snapping all of their fucking armor off, right? They have like all their fucking outfit off. Fucking Carl keeps showing us dumb Titus faces.
He basically does the mask like jaw opening, tongue rolling out,
steam coming out of his ears, his jaw unhinges and his tongue flies out.
I do feel like it's pretty tasteful, but there is a little bit of like
it's pretty tasteful in terms of Nomura and how close he is to getting to horny jail.
Well, no, and also finally the perfect trifecta is complete in like the harem trope. He's got 3 waifus to choose from.
Oh yeah, of course.
But like,
I also want to.
Well, no, on the girl side, we've already got the boys.
I was just about to say that the only one safe from horny jail so far is Kamari because we know that he is hornless.
Nice.
That's we can end the podcast right there. I don't think it's gonna get better than that. Yeah, but like this character also like unzips their fucking wetsuit and it's like done semi-suggestively, I feel like.
Semi-suggestively.
That's what I was saying. Like,
especially kind of weird because I think of the age of the character.
Yeah, and Titus the whole time is like, whoa.
Yeah,
like
homo.
He's in horny jail now. He's back to
like the first
-1
time
for me.
he realized she was a woman.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa.
Oh yeah, we didn't say who this is, but
it's Riku.
It's Riku.
Doing like I was saying, she was like, is James Bond tasteful? Like
taking it's a Bond girl moment for sure.
Yeah,
she takes off her like
wetsuit.
her wetsuit and underneath she's wearing like
a belt.
Booty shorts.
Yeah.
She's got a loose belt on underneath a wetsuit.
She's got like the Tommy Wiseau like too many belts.
She's clipping an onion to it, which was the style at the time.
But yeah, so I guess like her like actual outfit that she'll have when she parties with us is like the green shorts.
Yeah.
Like it looks almost like leather or something, like a thicker like tank top or whatever.
It's like a tunic almost. A turtleneck tunic.
It's like a turtleneck, but if there was like a Reese's wrapper around instead of the turtleneck, it looks like.
She's got like elbow pads and like fingerless gloves and shit.
Yeah, she's got some thick, heavy, almost like falconry gloves.
Yeah. But
she had blue streamers.
I would say cool as shit is like
100%.
Riku is fucking cool as fuck.
So
it's a really cool character design.
Yeah, for sure.
I always like the gearhead designs and like any anime. They're always fun.
Yeah.
In the Japanese version, like her voice actor is the voice is really cool. Like I love hearing her talk in this game.
I think her English voice is good too.
Really
Tara
cool.
Strong.
Yeah, Tara Strong. Shout out.
Yeah, but she is like, oh yeah, this is totally like Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. But she says,
thought I was done for back there.
and she like falls to her knees and
Titus goes, Riku, it's Riku. Riku.
Hey, you're okay. How you been? And she's like, terrible.
Did you get that message I sent?
Yeah.
It's like, if you see Riku, tell her thanks.
Oh yeah.
It's like, no.
Titus says, yeah, you don't look so good. What happened? And she says, you beat me up, remember? And like,
hey Riku, you look like shit.
Yeah. And then
yeah, I don't remember
Titus realizes it and he's like, oh, that Machina, that was you. And so like Riku was the pilot of the fucking extractor.
Hell yeah.
And they like kidnapped Yuna earlier. Which like I think is a good little turnaround.
And she's and she's like, that really hurt, you big meanie.
You big meanie. I do like that like we have like in Jose and the Moonflow people being like, watch out, people are kidnapping summoners. There's something very, very crazy afoot. And it turns out that like the kidnapper is Riku.
Yeah.
Like our
this
old
is like
homie.
The reveal of Ed in Cowboy Bebop. It's kind of the same kind of energy.
Haven't seen it.
Oh yeah.
Or it's like
you need to watch
Very
Cowboy
big Ed
Bebop.
energy.
Holy shit.
I mean, I totally agree, but also this scene, I don't know, it doesn't really land right for me. Like,
it's weird. It's weird.
Even when Tidus was like rescued by the Al-Bed, like they were really mean to him and like they were kind of jerks. Like, and she was the only one that was nice to him.
Even though she's supposed to be kind of like a leader.
Yeah, and like now she's kidnapping an innocent summoner and like maybe tied to other kidnappings, and he's just like, oh, it's Riku, she's fine. Like, dude, you met her like one day.
You met her one.
Like,
I would say he hasn't had very many people
like
who have been kind to him.
He hasn't had very many people who have actually given him food.
You know what I mean? Like, why does he trust her at all? Like,
yeah, that's fair. I think that's very fair.
Well, I think like maybe like in contrast.
Well, she was like an employer. more than like
no, I mean it's playing the cute anime music, so you know she's trustworthy.
Yeah,
she
because she's
like
a cute
villain.
waifu. That's why.
Well, I mean, like I think maybe in contrast
she
to like the other
or anything, you can trust her.
I mean, I think like in contrast to the other people who were
she's
on
conventionally attractive, therefore a good person.
But yeah, in contrast to the people who were on the Al-Bed ship, like they all treated him very poorly, and she did go out of her way to make sure he was treated better.
Sure.
So like I think that he has some reason and rationale to be like, okay, she's probably pretty decent.
I think he's just got a good gut feeling about it. He's got a good hunch that she's cool.
He's got some kind of feeling about her. That's for sure.
he's got a chub about her that but yeah. She says, "Oh yeah, so yeah,
I
really
also love the use of meanie in Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, meanie.
That Renoa also uses that a lot in Final Fantasy VIII, and I always love that.
God, I cannot fucking wait to talk about
You're
Renoa
so mean,
much.
meanie.
Yeah, Yuffie used that in FF7, right?
Yeah.
Yo, hell yeah.
Wait, but you attacked us.
Nuh-uh. It's not exactly what you think.
And then
Which, hell yeah.
Is it though?
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
There's a lot of shit going on. Who could say?
We'll see. But
I trust Riku.
Yeah, and
she's got that big Yuffie energy. Therefore, I trust her completely.
Yeah. I trust her because she reminds me of the character that constantly fucked us over.
And steals from everyone.
I'm gonna continue walking forward, even though there's a rake on the floor in front of me. I'm sure it'll be fine.
And then like the party catches up with us, and
There's a rake machina.
Walker runs up and says, "Oh, a friend of yours?" And Titus is like, you could say that." And she like immediately is just introducing herself, like, "Oh, pleased to meet you. I'm Riku."
Yo, hell yeah.
Yuna? Lulu? I told you about her, remember? She was the one who helped me before I was washed up on Besaid. She's an Al-Bed.
And Waka's like, "Oh wow, you owe her your life. What luck meeting here." And Waka does the praise be to Yevon thing. Waka has no fucking idea.
Yeah, Waka's just a big dipshit.
Waka hates the Al-Bed so much.
Titus almost had a slip up too, right? Where he was
he said
like, she's an Al-Bed.
He literally says all but one letter of it.
The localization of that line is a little bit ham-fisted, right? Like it's so clear that he's saying Al-Bed. Like he doesn't say Al-Bed in the Japanese. He just is like, yeah, she took care of me back before. Like because he was about to be like back when the Al-Bed took me in. You know?
Yeah. Waka is such a dipshit. Like, he hates the Al-Bed so much, but has no idea anything about them. Because, like, literally soldiers just told us, like, yeah, you can tell who's an Al-Bed because they have green eyes. They have swirls in them. Yeah. And so, like, you could just see them and know who they are.
Yeah, it's weird, too, because bigots are notorious for learning a lot about the thing that they hate.
Yeah. Literally, one of, like, the soldiers who was, like, warning about the Al-Bed grabbed Waka by the face and he said, if you see something, say something. And then Waka's like, dope.
Oh, look, a cute girl.
Friend? Cool.
Yeah.
More the merrier.
And I like Waka even like says there, he's like, you look a little beat up. Are you okay? Like,
Waka just kicked the shit out of her. Come on.
And then like Lulu and Yuna are like, oh hey Waka, there's something that we need to discuss. And I think Waka thinks that like they're talking to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, lay it on me.
And then Riku runs over there and goes,
girls only. Boys, please wait over there.
Love it. Also, I think it's important to note that dudes rock.
But yeah, so we learned, just to bring it back up, we learned that first time that we saved Yuna, that Yuna is half Albed, right?
Yeah.
And that her uncle is an Albed named Sid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like
In this
Yuna
game-
and Riku and Lulu are getting together and like being like, okay, we need to find out what is going on, who these people are, and everything.
Yeah.
And they come up with a little plan on their own.
Yeah.
Because
dudes rock. And dudes don't need to come up with plans.
Because like as soon as they're done with it, like we're not privy to their conversation, we don't get to hear it. But Yuna kind of out of left field walks up to Orin and is like,
I would like Riku to be my guardian.
I'm like, yo, fuck yeah. Anytime we meet someone who's kind of cool, it's like, yo, you want to be my guardian?
I know, dude. That's why I love like Yuna's just like more.
There's no bench here. Everyone's just on board all the time.
A picture of Donna that says "My Guardian" and it has like Bartello there, and then Yuna, it's like the Bugs Bunny arms, "Our Guardian."
I think it's also interesting that his name in this is Sid Shoopuf. Anyway,
yeah, like Highwind.
It's just like a little bit too quick for Yuna to be like, I want her to join.
I know.
Yeah, no, I think it's implied they had a longer conversation, but they could have like put a moment in for the guys to be talking while the girls are talking,
right.
You know, some time passing, maybe like something.
The pacing
right?
is weird, yeah.
When Yuna tried to bring Tidus into the party, Lulu was like, "What the fuck? What is happening? No, absolutely not."
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
I think like Orin has like kind of not on purpose, but sort of supplanted her as like the authority figure in the party.
Yeah.
And like Orin just don't give a shit. Orin is like, as long as we kill Sin, I don't give a fuck what happens.
Yeah, we can have 13 goddamn guardians.
Orin's okay as long as he knows what's going on. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
He's like, he looks at her and he's like, I can take her. She's an Albed. Noted.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
let's
like, might cause problems later. For now, whatever.
Yeah, and he actually
May have to kill Waka. I'll have to
Just like Batman, just have a plan to take everyone in the party down.
Yeah, he's got a ring of kryptonite just in his pocket, just in case he has to kill Superman.
He walks up to Riku after Yuna asks Orin if Riku can be a guardian, and he says, "Show me your face. Look at me." And she's like looking away from him and trying to like look away, and she raises her face to meet him, but her eyes are closed, and he just says, "Open your eyes." And she opens one of them, and you can see her eye very clearly that it is green and has that spiral shape inside of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just says,
"As I thought."
And she goes,
very cutely, she's like,
no good?
yeah, like, oh, I guess it's gonna preclude me from being able to be
It's
one.
super cute.
Yeah.
And he just says, "Are you certain?" And she's like, "Oh, 100%. Oh, so anyway, can I?" And Orin just goes, "If Yuna wishes it." So he's like, not bothered by it, but he's just...
Yeah, he's not thrilled about it. He's not bothered by it.
Orin just wants to move on. He's like, I
yeah.
just want to kill Sin.
Like,
I don't care about...
Dude, I have been riding a Shoopuf all fucking day. My ass hurts. I want to get to Guadasalam and have a fucking rest.
I just want to get to our fucking Airbnb and crack open a cold one.
I am at 6 HP and I need to long rest. When are we going to get to the next town?
I'm just trying to put my feet up and take a rip off of my jug of piss.
And like Titus says a very odd thing that I don't like very much.
Yeah.
He says, "Riku's a good girl." And I'm like,
She's not a dog.
she's not a fucking dog.
Yeah.
She helped me a bunch.
God, this game flirts so much with just like...
I know.
Like,
It's
like they're right on the line.
I know. It really is. It's the Waka, what a big dumb idiot. He says, "Well, I'm for it. The more the merrier."
Yeah,
I'm
and then
like,
I love what Riku says. She says, "Righto, then I'll just have to be the merriest."
Yeah. And Titus says, "It was strange."
She's like a posy Yuffie instead of
Yeah.
like a schemy Yuffie. She's
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
in a way.
I think that's why
she
I just
like
instantly
names
love
herself
her.
like the positivity officer or whatever. Like
Yeah.
she's like, okay, I'm responsible for like morale. Let's go.
Yeah. She's the one who's like, "Oh, I gotta provide the good vibes to the party."
Yeah.
Yes. She's the vibes.
Because otherwise, the bassist and the drummer kind of start fighting. So if I'm not there to crack a joke and like get them beers at the show, like the band is just gonna fucking fall apart, man.
In narration, so like the party starts to walk away toward Guadasalam, and in narration, Titus says, "It was strange, even though Wok had always hated the Albed." And then we hear Riku cut in, "Riku, at your service."
Hell yeah,
He says,
dude.
he never realized that Riku was one of them. And
Yeah.
so like, Like, there you go.
You big dummy.
You big.
We're learning
you
a lot
big
about
dummy.
hate today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Hatred only thrives in a zone of ignorance.
Ooh. You know what I hate and am ignorant about? What's in those treasure chests that now just appear in battle sometimes?
Yo, that's definitely a mimic. Watch the fuck out.
Yeah, dude, I thought the same thing. I was like, yo, finally.
Which way is the chain facing?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. If the chain faces back, there's no chance for attack. That's how you remember it. That's how you remember it in Dark Souls.
If the chain faces back, that shit ain't whack.
Is that how you think of it?
No, I never thought about
okay.
that.
I think I always do like a demonic. We're talking about Dark Souls again, just so everybody knows. But yeah, so from now on, and so you know how like every time we get a character, we get like a little tutorial with them.
Yeah.
Now that we have Riku, chests will just appear.
Hell yeah.
And not the booby type.
Well, I mean, if you have
Epic
Lulu,
chest
I
ahead.
suppose.
Yeah.
But anyway,
be wary of amazing chests.
But yeah, so as soon as we get into a battle, now that we have Riku in our party, this will initiate, and she'll see a treasure chest and go, "Ooh, a chest! I wonder what's inside." And then it tells us that she is our character who can use steel, like as we saw.
Yeah,
when
we saw that in the first tutorial with her many moons ago.
Yeah, I know that was a long time ago. But she can use steel on those chests to just open them and get whatever the contents are, and usually they're
But
pretty
why?
decent.
It's a chest. Can anyone open it?
No,
Yeah,
she's got it.
No, it's locked.
Maybe they're
You gotta have
locked.
tools of the trade.
Yeah. An enemy comes into the battle and hits her, and she says, "You should know I'm scary when I get mad. I'm going to use that item I just got on you, and you'll be sorry." So her overdrive is Mix, which as a Final Fantasy V speedrunner, I am well aware that Mix is the best command in any Final Fantasy game.
Yo, hell yeah.
So you can pick 2 items from your inventory, mix them together, and then get a new item that you'll use immediately.
She's basically an alchemist.
Yeah, the Alchemist. Yep.
Cool.
Which I think is the name of the job that can do that in Final Fantasy X too, actually.
Nice.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
But super useful. In this case, we get bomb fragments from that chest. So we mix 2 bomb fragments together to create an item called Firestorm that just casts like Fira like fucking 8 times in a row on an enemy.
Yeah.
Like, and the first blast on this enemy does like upper 700s of damage, and then it just kept going and going and going. And I was like,
Damn.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude! Like, she does so much damage with this. It's insane.
It's real good.
Dude, it's
Witness
brutal.
the power of Machina.
Yeah. Dude, Riku's like such a good character. Riku's like as far as like, you know, like certain characters are very attacky. Like Lulu and Auron are big damage numbers.
Very
and
offensive,
then, And then Titus is a great like clutch character where he's like buffing the party, making them hasted, you know, like doing all that stuff.
He's like the all around like utilitarian one where like
right.
you know.
And then like
he's a bard.
Riku is like a special tool kind of thing where like
she's the Joker. She's the dang Joker.
She's the Joker. Yeah,
the
if you know
dang
how to use
Joker,
her, man,
baby.
like she can be the best.
She's the
party
wild
member.
card for sure.
Yeah, she's really good.
She can do a Joker's trick.
The ultimate, the Joker's trick is stuck behind 4 level 4 sphere lots though.
Once you beat,
She can only use 10% of it though at any time.
I like that once she uses the mix command and kills that enemy, Walker runs in and he goes,
What did you just do?
Yeah, he is super surprised. And Titus goes, "That was great." And she's like, "I can combine items and use them like this. It's not that tough, really."
Hell
like,
yeah.
Nice. But
She has a very sassy like victory pose as well.
Yeah, where she does like this little like, what is it?
Yeah, she does like a shrug kind of thing. It's so good.
She should like that should be like a Dark Souls
Yeah,
emote
like, well,
for like
what is it?
PvP.
Yeah,
It's like a good what is it?
It's the one that makes everyone mad when you use it on them. She just starts floss dancing on them.
We should point out too that she starts at the level that we left her at the beginning of the game. Like, so like she still has like 300 HP compared to everybody else's like 4 digits
But
of
she
now.
can dish out damage though.
Yeah. But what
Doing that, but right now if she just normal attacks, it's like nothing.
Yeah, and this is like my kind of favorite thing in an RPG when you get like an under level
I
character,
love
and
it.
you're just like, I'm just gonna have you in the party. You're gonna do one.
I
move,
love it.
And then you're just gonna like. Just
I
get
know.
levels go burr.
No, that's
up.
a really good that's a really good way to incentivize, the player to add the new party member, in and get used to them quickly. That's like brilliant.
It's like putting a weak Pokemon that you just got at the top of your party and immediately switching it out.
Yeah.
Or it's like anytime in Earthbound, I remember like playing that. I was very like, this happens all the time in Earthbound because you go to like new towns and then get like a new character and you're like, oh my God, it's so underleveled. And then you're like, oh, easily, like I can just level it up easily to fill the gap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Super good. So yeah, so Riku's in the party now.
How do I recruit her from my blitzball team? I want to have.
I know.
I want to have five of her. Yeah, she's constantly.
Yeah, she's like the
ball.
opposite of Kate Sith. Like, oh hell yeah, she's getting out of the party. Cool. I'm gonna use her in every battle now.
So yeah, this is about it for this little section. The road isn't very long. There's a chest with 4 antidotes that's kind of hidden out of the way. But at the end of this road, there's like a giant tree, I guess.
Yeah, this leads to the Great Hollow.
I mean, yeah, basically, it's Dark Souls Great Hollow. That's basically what it is. And there's kind of like I want to say a foyer.
Yeah,
there's like
an atrium.
There's a little entrance area to this next area. And like, you can tell that wherever we're going next is going to be wispy and magical.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like the spiritual stone of forest when you that spiral, the green spiral when you walk in.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, we're going inside the Great Deku.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that's ever gone wrong. Possibly go wrong.
But yeah, I think that's all for this episode. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's about it. We got
a full party.
Got a full party, baby.
Full party, baby. We did it.
It only took us 7 months. How long have we been doing this fucking season?
Can't wait till we get Seymour back.
Yeah, and then once we have Cypher and once we have Edea, it's gonna be fucking lit.
Yeah. Dude, I do feel like the moment when you have a full party in a Final Fantasy game is always very special. I was like,
Pokedex is full.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. But what I also like too is like, we've described the battle system often as like puzzly, and now we have all of our tools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now they can start throwing us into battles that require usage of all of our characters.
I'm real excited about it.
It's okay.
Because I think this game definitely like excels in the battle department because the battles are so much fun.
That's the best part about this game, I think, is the battles.
It's really cool that they've managed to put every character in one of the classic kind of like, RPG classes.
Except for Kimari.
Well, Kimari's
I figured he was like a blue mage.
What's it called? Like a lancer? I forget what that the term is.
Dragoon.
Yeah, he's a dragoon, basically.
But his skills don't.
I kind of took him. I kind
of
of took him as like a blue mage or Final Fantasy, where he because he can just become whatever you want him to.
Yeah, that's kind of thing. You just make him another one of the classes.
Well, anyway, the point I was making was that like they do a good job of like giving all the characters very specific classes and roles in like a traditional combat way, and yet the characters themselves are so unique. Like there's not really any character like most of these guys. Yeah, so it's cool that they managed to like marry that kind of together. It's cool.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like 9 is kind of similar in that fashion. Like I think maybe that was the first one where they kind of did that, and this is kind of maybe like a little bit more of a refinement of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or modernization of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the we haven't really gotten to 9 yet, but like a lot of the thing in 9 is like a wink and a nod at like FF1 kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like doesn't Dagger wear like a white mage kind of outfit?
She literally wears that, and like Vivi looks like a black mage, right?
And the 4 bosses before the last ones are literally fucking Lich, Leviathan, Tiamat,
fuck yeah,
Marilith,
yeah. So then I think FF10 maybe like now that they've gotten it out of their system, they can really get into like making it super unique, but with all the skills that they developed from the last game. It's
right.
I'm enjoying it. I never liked FF10, and like I'm actually really enjoying it.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Very cool. All right, well that's really all I got for this week, huh?
That's all. I think that's it. We wrote a cool Shoopuf. Can't wait to take it on the road.
We got 3rd in the Dwelling of Duels song.
Well, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Did we announce that we did that?
We teased it last week that we were doing a thing.
You could probably talk about it better than I could. Alex, please.
Oh yeah, so like a few weeks ago, Darmak was on, and as you know, she's the bassist for Steel Samurai, and after the microphones turned off, she invited us to collaborate on a FF3 cover compilation / competition.
Yeah.
And we made a really fun kind of ska punk arrangement.
Very No Doubt.
Yeah.
It's basically based on Sunday Morning, but then we kind of went on our own thing.
Yeah.
But it features also Kev from Cheap Dinos on drums. Who
former guest of the show.
From earlier this year. And all 3 of us are on it. And my roommate, Kevin. Oh, wait. And my roommate Kyle is awesome. There's a lot of C noises.
And my roommate Lulu. I mean Yuna. I mean.
He plays saxophone and it's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it was a blast.
It was a competition. We got third.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good.
We got beat up by a cellist and a harpist. So
yeah, which like
who deserved it? Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out to our friend Sam, friend of the pod, who we need to get on an episode.
His was great.
Soon. His was so fucking good, and it started off, and I was just like it was like streamed all live, like anonymous.
Nobody knows who.
No one knows who does what or anything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, this sounds like the fucking Champs. This is so good. And like I saw Sam.
The name
in
of the
chat.
song is literally like a fucking Champs type title.
Yeah, so I saw Sam in the chat and I saw him reacting to ours and he was like, this is fucking awesome. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. And then I was just like, this sounds like the fucking Champs. This is so good. I love this. Like,
yeah. They had a really good time.
Yeah, all the entries were really kick-ass though.
Are they able to go listen to those online now?
Yeah, it's all on the Dwelling of Duels archive as well.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description. Dwellingofduels.net, I think is what it is.
.net. Yep.
Yeah, and you can listen to
our song is called Dank Crystals.
Hell yeah. Nice. The band name that we landed on was Finding of Fiends.
It's very fun.
Yeah, that's good.
Excited to do more of that.
Hell yeah.
But thank you, Corey, though, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hopefully,
thanks for having me.
Play Painkiller for us flawlessly next time.
Yeah. How's your progress on that coming?
Dude, I have not been playing any music.
Yo, same. It was kind of a mad dash at like the possible, like last possible minute for me to get like my shit in for the Dwelling of Duels thing, where I was just like, oh my god, like I don't even have my like.
Wait, hold on, Corey. Let me try a sentence, and you tell me if it's good or not. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Kori o ongaku ga heita desu.
How dare you? It'd be Kori wa, but that like basically I'm shitty at playing music.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean that, but I was like, no, I think I can actually put this together right now.
I could say kochira koso. The same goes for you. Yeah. I want to say like I've been really like leaping, all the way into like the Discord you guys put together for this pod, and it's been such an incredible community. Like I have so much fun chatting with everyone on that Discord. Like it's awesome. I don't know what I expected, but what the group that's kind of developed there is super wholesome, like incredibly warm and welcoming, and just like everyone's awesome.
I like that everybody's individual like hobbies and interests get responses from everybody in the Discord. And like it's so like people are really like opening up to different ideas and stuff like that. Like when we get our urban planning channel for Corey.
Oh, is that a formal announcement of the creation of the channel?
No, I think it's just going to be an ongoing gag.
I think it has to just be a gag. Yeah.
No, please.
Well, here's my thing is like when you first requested it, I was like, well, I don't want there to be a specific channel that everyone in the Discord could just easily mute and be like, let Corey have his corner. This way, everyone has to listen to you.
Yeah.
No, make a channel called #TheZone and then just me ranting into the void.
Every time Corey posts in it, it automatically creates like an @everyone.
Mr. Cool Ice's Fun Time Zone. Listeners, my name in Japanese would be Kori, which means ice in Japanese. So my Japanese name is Mr. Cool Ice. We've decided.
Mr. Cool Ice, hell yeah.
Mr. Blizzara.
But yeah, if you would like to join you as in the listener would like to join our Discord, we have a invite link on our Twitter bio if you'd like to check us out. Every FNFF. We're also on Instagram and Twitch. We got some cool shirt designs per actually Corey's suggestion. Just on our Redbubble site. Some good Philadelphia / New York transit designs.
We gotta make a Shoopuf shirt now that has like the SEPTA logo.
Oh my god! No, at least make the Shoopuf the Shoopuf has to be New Jersey because it's like the ferry between NJ Transit.
That's awesome.
The sunken city, the no man's land.
Atlantic City, the sunken city that no one ever dares go to.
The lost city of Atlantic City.
You take the Jersey High Road.
Yeah, you take the Jersey High Road. Dan went out for the weekend, got crushed, and left on the Jersey Shore. All right. Anything else? Let's see.
I joke a lot about New Jersey. New Jersey's actually really great. If you live in Philly or New York and you don't really like know a lot about the area, just go fucking explore it. It's a really beautiful state, and it doesn't deserve the reputation that it gets.
You should go and explore the Pine Barrens of New Jersey and see if you can find the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
I am the Jersey Devil.
Home of the Jersey Devil. Home of the Jersey Devil.
Thanks to Neither Round for the theme music this season.
Oh yeah,
it fucking rips. I constantly forget because every time we're just like listening, like, oh yeah, this song is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Masashi Hamuzu, Nobuo Metsu, and Junya Nakano did the background music. It's really cool.
Very good.
Corey, do you have any notes for how Alex pronounces those names?
Yeah, it's all wrong. I've come to accept this now.
So
this is my punishment for using Machina.
So Nobuo Uematsu.
Yeah.
Junya Nakano. Junya Nakano. Junya Nakano.
Yeah.
Yo, it actually is kind of easy to think of it as Junya.
The Masashi Hamauzu.
Yeah, Hamauzu, that works.
Masashi Hamauzu.
Master Chief.
Hamauzu. Master Chief.
Master Chief
Hamtaro.
And like the first image that comes up is Junya Nakano's me.
Yo, fuck yeah. Man.
Hell yeah.
It's sad going back on my 3DS and like going through the street plaza because I just see like Satoru Iwata, like his
Iwata.
me from like the street pass and stuff.
Yeah.
Feeling like pure shit. Just
want him back.
There's no getting off this Shoopuf.
Except unless you jump off and then it's really fun because the
Yeah.
Shoopuf will pull you back on.
All right, see you later.
Car's bad.
All right, love you. Kiss, kiss. Mwah.